Hello, my name's Brian O'Shea. That's what's up. Yeah. Fucking live streaming from the car on my birthday. Yeah. Sound like special ed from Crank Anchors. Gotta put my helmet on. Yeah. Oh, fucking damn fucking channel. All right. You guys are pretty cool, man. Fucking, I got a few things lined up. I was trying to find someone's motivational video, but you know what? We ran out of time. We got to go live. We got Dick Freedom Grower going live. We got Benton live. Benton, man. I'll just keep that. I'll just keep my thoughts to myself because I know he's going to restream me. He's going to have his little soundboard. Queen of Swords, what up? 49 years old. Numerology, it's a 4. See, anytime you put a number next to a 9, it just stays that number. 5 and 9, that's 16. No, that's 14. So the 4 and the 1, that's 5. So it stays a 5. 5 and 9 is 5. 3 and 9 is 3. 2 and 9 is 2. 9 and 2, 9, 11. The 2 is 1, 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's also a symbol for 11. You go from 9, you skip 10, perfection, and you go to 11. That's what they do. They keep us in a loop. A looping slaves. Don't get to go to perfection and be like, oh, this is where I made all my mistakes. This is what perfection feels like. Get back at it, you little rascal. Pat him on the ass, and you run back out into the world and try to do better. But no, they take us to right before perfection, and take us all the way down back to 2. And then you're in this loop of like, oh my God, I thought I was going to feel perfection. Where's heaven and death? And it's like I'm some slave on some hamster wheel. Anyways, what the fuck, wildlife? You cocksuckers. I got some things I want to get into. The name of this stream is Recognize as Free He who is neither a slave to another nor to himself. You get that? Addictions. If you're a slave to yourself, you have addictions. And you know what I bought yesterday? I bought some fucking sativa. Who the fucking thought? I took a stray from the indica heroin. And you know what? When I took the first couple hits, I was like, this ain't the indica heroin. That's fucking just... But then it still gave me the munchies and made me a retard. So there's something about this dispensary weed too. If you're not growing it, you don't know what's in this shit. But I don't know. I'm trying. Sativa. I'm supposed to be like up and at 'em. Not a fucking indica fucking just eating and couch locked, car locked, just eating and YouTube videos. And now I'm getting into the shorts. I'm getting more and more addicted to this shit. Like Freedom Grower was saying, your fucking short-term memory loss is going to get affected. That's why if you could just sit and do the meditation, like I did my meditation the other day again, I actually did some push-ups. My fucking ass is out of shape on them push-ups. I was like, damn. But you got to get back at it. I was going down a path here. Yeah, man. You can't be fucking... I don't know what the fuck I was saying. I was saying something. See, it's short-term memory loss. That's what I was saying, motherfuckers. Proving my fucking point. Can't get proper sleep in the slave world. Gotta fight for every fucking thing. Cars should be made where fucking obviously people want to sleep in them. They should be made like that. So guess what we should do? We should make modes of transportation that are fucking easy to fucking either sleep in. All types of shit. What the fuck? Am I making any sense or am I too disjointed? I'm a little disjointed. Got a lot of ideas. I got to condense them and make them coherent for y'all. You know, you guys don't live in my brain, and thank the Lord Jesus you don't. But we were going down a path, and I lost my thought again, but I got it back. Short-term memory loss. How apropos. So I'm thinking, though, with books, you know, you sit and meditate sometimes. You ever just do that? Where you're like not online all day and you're kind of meditating, you're in a positive thing, and then you actually read books. Anyone ever sit down and just like read books and been in love with books? And like read a book a week? And like all you do basically all day is read books. Even when I was working a job, in between phone calls, doing sales, even though I was the top salesman, you'd be sitting there waiting for a call to come in. And, you know, I'd be reading a book a week, dude. Go home, on the train ride to work, the train ride from work. When I get home, reading a book. Reading books. Voracious reading. Speaking of books, my favorite book right now is the Wr-alda. And the Wr-alda is quoted in my title of this video, and it's quoted in the description of this video. So let's go ahead and read the description of the video that we're currently in. So it says, this is from Frya's text. Text, actually, T-E-X. Prosperity awaits the free. At last they shall see me again, though him only can I recognize as free, who is neither a slave to another nor to himself. This is my counsel. When in dire distress, and when mental and physical energy avail nothing, then have recourse to the spirit of Wr-alda. Do not appeal to him before you have tried all other means. For I tell you beforehand, and time will prove it true, that those who give way to discouragement sink under their burdens. You're drowned under your own discouragement because a man is a bad motherfucker, dude. Doesn't have to be the man or this man or that man or celebrity or whatever. A fucking man created in the image of God is a bad mamma jamma, dude. It's the type of motherfucker. It's the type of motherfucker you could look up to, you could respect. You'd be like, that's a bad motherfucker. And that's just a man. Just a man. Any motherfucker. They want to say, in the beginning was the word. There was a very particular word in the beginning. It was the word in the beginning. No, you fuck faces. The translation is a word or any word. Not the word. The word. In the beginning was the word. No, it's a word, any word, a vibration of motherfucking You only got the present moment, which is an infinite number of beginnings or possibilities of infinite potential in every fucking moment. So in the beginning was a word. What is the word? A word. And if you have a language that's built in such a way that there's only one language on earth, which has been purported, has been conjectured, has been theorized. So I like to take these conjectures and see which ones I resonate with. Ooh, an original language called God's language that they refer to as God's language, where if you were to speak a lie, you would start to blush and stammer, and stutter, fumble over your words, because the essence of the language was just so, when you said something, people knew what the fuck you were talking about. There was no denying what the fuck you're talking about. So if you went to try to fucking be sketchy, you would start fucking, you get all fucking, because it's just obvious. It would be so fucking obvious, right? But then time goes on, right? That's when the beautiful time, that's probably the golden ages. But then things start to creep and get less than perfect, you know what I mean? The seasons, you know what I mean? It starts to get a little colder. The leaves start to fall off the trees, you know, things ain't perfect, you know, going through the winter, you know, that analema of the sun movement throughout the year. If you took a picture of the sun every day at the same time every day from the same location, after 365 days, it would make the figure eight. And it's not a perfect figure eight. If you know what a Klein bottle looks like, and you look at this analema, and also the moon does an analema. The moon phases, Venus phases. I'm digressing a lot and I'm jumping around, but that's all right. We're going to get back on focus to where I was going right before I brought this up. But the moon also makes an analema in a 28-day cycle, in a lunar cycle, which is interesting, which is a figure eight. If you took a picture of the moon in the same spot every day, 360, after 28 days, you would notice it starts to make a figure eight as well, which is interesting. And I was going down somewhere before I brought up the sun, and I got short-term memory loss and lack of sleep. So my brain's blown out. I don't know where the fuck I was going. I think I could find it though. I was going down somewhere. See, this is why I can't digress so much, man. I just got to linearly plow through where the fuck I'm going. Oh yeah, we were talking about that one language. We were talking about the inability to lie. And we were going down a road of how I was saying things change like seasons and shit. And it got me caught up on the sun. But yeah, as things begin to degrade, and that's what happened, the priest class, or these different classes, these different types of people wanted to be able to lie. So just like kids in a grammar school, when you want to be a little mischievous, or you're around your parents, you're around adults, and you create your own language, you create that pig Latin, right? Where you kind of take one letter from the first one, put in, and so you and your friends could understand what you're saying when you're around the adults. You know, just like when I used to work in the restaurants, and the Mexican people in the kitchen be speaking to each other, and I always thought they were talking shit. That's, you know, you have a different language now, right? So you could be covert, right? You could be deceptive. You could be crafty. You could be sneaky. And this is how language evolved from the one where it was almost impossible to lie without like showing your hand, without, like, you know what I mean? Without it being obvious to everyone, to they came up with a second language where they only knew it between each other. So then they'd probably be like, yeah, man, because they'd be doing commerce, right? It's people that like to do commerce, right? Merchant, not really merchants, but people that just want to come up on a motherfucker, right? So they, yo, man, we're going to cheat this motherfucker. And they say it in their own little fucking language they came up with. That way the other person doesn't, and they don't have to blush. So my point is that degradation of coming up with a second language for the sole purpose of being able to lie without blushing is what's led to the world we're in now. And it's all these puns and fucking, dude, it's just a way of lying, dude, and to know yourself. Because if I were to lie, or when I have lied, or when I want to be deceptive, you know what I mean? I'm not, you know, it's probably either I don't do it completely now or something I want to work on. But like, yeah, if you want to be evil, like if you're like, okay, how could I, if I'm trying not to be good, if I was to try to be shisty, how would you go about it? You know what I mean? That's probably a good meditative experience, is to think like how your enemies may think, just like a death meditation, to go down these roads, and like, this will help you fucking strategically. Okay, how would, and then then it becomes tempting, because you're like, this shit would be so fucking easy. I told motherfuckers, bro, I was like, if there was no holds barred and I just do anything I want with no morals, bro, I'll be a billionaire in 5 years. I told my guys, they started laughing. I go, bro, are you kidding? I go, if murder, lying, anything, just if I was just a shisty, just anything goes, no morality, you don't think I would just fucking to use every fucking thing at my disposal to just come up? You don't think that would be, dude, that would just be easy. Even saying it now, I realize how easy it would be. You would just manipulate the fuck out of people, dude. You would just go to motherfuckers who got money. That would be my first thought. You go to motherfuckers who got money, who are weak, and you just start manipulating the fuck out of them, dude. And you just wreck shop on everything, dude, on everybody. And you just come up, and then you just meet that goal. I say, I told you I could make $5 billion in 5 years. What you think I was playing? If there was no rules to this shit, that shit would be easy. Yeah, I'm 49 today. I was born in 74. I think that's right? What year is this? 2023? So next year I'll be 50, right? See, now that's when the pressure seems like it's on, bro. If I don't get myself some alchemical tinctures where it's like some fountain of youth, I think I found the fountain of youth with piss, but if you don't get some alchemical tinctures where you're confident you're going to live to be like 1,000 years old, it's like, damn. It's like, now you're 50, going to be creeping up on 60. But see, these are just numbers, bro. I think you could live to be 1,000 easily, without all this fucking everything under the sun fucking degrading you, without alchemical tinctures and different things. People talking about vitamins. I'm barely getting all that shit. I don't take vitamins and all that. So if you don't take vitamins, that means you got to eat healthy ass shit like a motherfucker to make up for it. And you ain't going to find that healthy ass shit, bro. I don't care where the fuck you're shopping. Even if you're shopping at Whole Foods, you probably can't get all your vitamins and nutrients and stay away from fucking poisons one way or another. Where the fuck am I going with this goddamn stream? Let me drop the link. I had some ideas. I wanted to read some quotes. See, I said, I'm going to do a 28-day thing. And I skipped yesterday, but whatever. I want to go in the morning I got thrown off yesterday with Paul going on OTWs. I was like, oh, fuck, I can't go live. I ain't going to have no viewers. So I don't know who's live right now. Benton probably restreaming me, probably doing some soundboard talking shit. But this shit ain't got to be perfect, bro. I had a few ideas. Kind of went a little spazzed out. I have trophies for sale. Anyone want some trophies? Yeah, that's Mitchell. He's an adorable little miscreant. You know what I mean? He just fucking got his hair flowing. Just a little fucking miscreant. I mean, he'll stick a knife in your gut, like from behind. And then you turn around and he'll have like a little smile on his face and his hair will just be blowing in the wind. And he'll just be kind of going like this with his knife. He'll just be like, and he'll just be all dead-eyed and shit. And he's like, Mitchell, you're shanking my kidney. He's like, I know. It makes me happy. He's just shanking and his hair is blowing in the wind and he's got his little fucking electronic glowing bong, different color thing. He's just hitting it real slow, just shanking you. He's just like, what? This is the big deal, dude. You're just getting shanked up from behind. Snake style. Like, what's the big deal, dude? That's Mitchell, though, dude. He's an adorable little fucking assassin, bro. He'll have that sniper rifle, dude. He'll be fucking taking the hair out of his eyes and it's just like, put you in the scope, dude. He'll just be mumbling to myself. He'll be mumbling little fucking things. Like, yeah, that comment you made, you thought you were so slick, didn't you, motherfucker? Yeah! Yeah, dude, I fucking did some fucking aged urine on the hair, dude. Yeah, man, urine baths, aged urine baths would be the greatest thing for your skin because I brought like a primo bottle like out of the stash, out of the fucking, it's like wine, having a wine cellar. I'm telling you, dude. You guys think I'm fucking stupid, dude. I'm gonna get some old ass aged piss and I'm gonna fucking charge someone like $500 because you literally could, dude. Be like, I got shit that's a year old. You got problems with your feet? Because I did a foot soak like a couple weeks ago. I had a cracked heel, right? Sometimes I get a cracked heel from like, you know what I mean? You just fucking not properly taking care of your feet. You get a little dry heel, especially in my situation, the way I'm rolling. So you get a cracked heel. So your heel's all dried up and cracked, looking all funky. And then you soak it in that urine, that aged urine, bro. And you scrub it. You keep it in there for a few hours and you scrub it. I take like a rock, scrub it. And bro, that shit is, whew, you ain't never going to have better skin. Oh, we got some people here. Uh-oh, Paul and Mitchell's here. Oh, I'm scared now. Not really Mitchell. I'm scared of this Paul and Slave guy. Yo!
What's going on, Spider?
Spider? Is that Spider-Man?
Spider, you all right or what?
Oh,
Go get me some fucking urine, Spider, huh?
Dude, I cannot wait till some hippie fucking couple is gonna want to spend like $1,000 on my aged urine foot fucking soak. But Paul doesn't like this type of talk, dude. I'm telling you, Paul, you're a genius.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. I just made another 500 last night on Slave Crypto. I was just laying there. I rolled over and made 500. I was eating. I was laying down in the bed eating and using my stomach as somewhat of a dinner plate. And I just kind of rolled over and looked, and there was another 500 there. And I was like, man, it's great to be blessed. I'm winning so much nowadays, I can't stop winning. Please, Brian O'Shea, no one wants to hear about your loser story anymore. I'm trying to get these people inspired this morning. Mitchell, your thoughts on any of this?
Oh, it's fucking awesome, man.
Wow, Mitchell actually wants to see me do good. That's crazy. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
What's that?
These slaves, man. You can't depend on these damn slaves. You gotta make shit happen. The time's right.
Venus, I see you down there, you fucking pogo, granny panty, cupcake bitch.
Whoa. All right. Yeah. Let's
fucking
get this
Me Too victim, Karen.
Oh, but I do want to press you on something that see if you know what your thoughts are. It's a little complex, but it's interesting that they just announced the new Speaker of the House. They announced him as the 45th Speaker of the House, and the
Jack Talcott.
Well, the 44th, like if you're not counting like the sessions of Congress and you're counting the actual people, the 44th was pre-1871. So in the announcement, they had the flag with the stripes standing, and I thought that was interesting. But it makes me think that they're admitting the nation is, the U.S. corporation is being dissolved, and the nation's going back to the constitutional republic of pre-1871. But
Wait, you're like running an Anna von Reitz thing now, right?
no, it has nothing to do with her. But other than it
Hey,
would.
did you see they caught Anna von Reitz working with Planned Parenthood? That's the word on the street. Yeah. Rasta's going to be upset to hear that.
I don't know Anna von Reitz personally, but she's brought good details to the table that show what America needs to do, the people, to restore the republic. So I don't know Anna. I'm not like an advocate of Anna. I'm an advocate of the American state assemblies. I think that is just evidenced in, memorialized in law. It's not any of her work. It's not any of her doing. It's, just shit that existed before she was even born. So
you saw the Balfour Declaration expired on the 30th of this year, right? October?
Well, I did not see that, honestly.
Yeah, the incorporation we know as the State of Israel has expired as of the 31st of October. So I find that to be extremely coincidental with what's going on.
Right. That is very
Yeah, there's big moves happening is basically all that we know. Because you could tell me that United States corporation's going back to the Republic. I don't accept that. I think there's going to be a world corporation that is going to preside over all of these nation states and lands, and pretty much all the corporations' expiration dates are running out, coincidentally, all at the same time. So this is something bigger and beyond, man. This is a metaphysical simulation. Something is running this thing for hundreds and thousands of years at a time. It's not what it seems.
I agree, which, I think that evil will continue to exist. But to me, what it really is saying is that they're at least acknowledging that the people have the power over at least the United States government. So I think the United States government will continue to exist, and they'll continue to maybe try and do shitty things, but they'll be kept in check by the people who will actually have enforcement over them, which they've been unchecked for so long, and that's why they can get away with so much bullshit. So I think that at least it's progress. It's not really the answer, but it does show progress to me.
Yeah, I mean, the way you could look at it is there's an overworld and an underworld. Shaitan runs this world through the corporate capacity, and God, in quotes, runs the world from the metaphysical law capacity, right? So there's legal and lawful in the world, just like there is in the universe. So these folks and what they serve runs the corporate world and everything that's on paper, and gets us to try to choose to opt into it, but then there's an overworld, right? And there's an overlord, essentially. So, I mean, yeah, again, because they'll say, well, you can't say there's something running this world for hundreds of thousands of years and then say you're going to fight it. I'm not saying I'm fighting it. I'm saying I'm not going on record with it. I'm rebuking it. I can't fight it. I can't go to war with it and win. But what I can do is choose to be on record, right? Like they say, the Akashic record. I'm on record for now and all time. I will not feed into this as least as possible, right?
Biblically speaking, from my perspective, it's like having your name recorded in the book of life, basically,
Yeah, you could look at it that way. I mean, I could just take it down back home to the locality. I'm in my body and I have a moral compass, and that was given to me by God. I'm going to choose from that as much as I'm aware of it, and I don't care about the consequences of what they threaten me with. So, I mean, you don't even need a cosmic explanation to know I'm going to be a man as it pertains to my apprehension, and I'm not foregoing that for anyone else's coercion and duress. I would cease to be a man as I apprehended if I engaged in that process. What else would you call somebody who did that other than a child, a bitch, a slave? And I'm not a child of the state. I'm not a bitch of the state, and I'm not a slave of the state. If anything, I'm a child of God, and I'm a servant of that and the truth. And I'm in a covenant with that force or that thing, if you want to call it that. It's basically just pure understanding. who and what you are versus what you're not here to do.
So real quick, I just want to mention one more thing, just to kind of try and articulate how I interpret what I was trying to explain is that, basically, what I see this meaning is the state of couldn't lock you up for 3 months and hold you on some bullshit or whatever, and then let you go, with no charges or whatever. What it means to me is like the constitutional sheriff would have the right and ability and, recognition to be able to go down there and, do a habeas corpus or whatever and be able to enforce the law to, keep them in check for somebody like you who has corrected your status, so to speak. You're doing the right thing. So you are a man on the land. You are one of the people. You're not a citizen slave. You're a protected class.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even look at it as correcting the status. It's correcting the record. My status was never any different. My understanding was different because we grew up in a mind control system. So once my understanding was corrected, my status was automatically corrected, if you will, or renounced. I had to re-announce my status, if you want to put it that way. So, I mean, again...
You never got the license and shit, so you never really fucked up your status, really. You just had to correct their presumptions with their ignorance,
right.
So yeah, like,
I have to rebut the assumptions and presumptions. But I'm saying even for the man or woman who's done all that, their status was never changed inherently, objectively, universally. They've always been a man or woman on the land with God-given rights, universal law. You can't change that status. You could just be aware of it or not. Right. So if you're not aware of it, then you accept the status or an entitlement they give you. They haven't changed your status. They've just pimped you to believe you're not originally who and what you are and were. Right. So that's the game. They can never change what's inherently there universally. All they could do is convince you it's something different than what it is. And they're experts at that. That's what the devil is great at doing. Convincing you of something different than what your eyes, ears, and heart have experienced.
Yeah, all I have to do is look at the times I've lied to people and try to manipulate them. Like, it gets weird. When you obfuscate the truth, you could get freaky with it. Oh, I didn't technically lie. You asked me this and I responded like this. It's how it feels like. Everything is written. It's written in like puns and like subvertive, covert fucking it's just craft and deception, contending with freedom and justice. That's exactly what it is. Craft and deception. That's what these
These are Masons, masters of the craft. They're crafty individuals. But again, they're your greatest teachers and testers, because how stupid are you and everyone else without these people here constantly teaching and testing you indirectly?
You're right on that, Paul. Even though they've corrupted the knowledge, they've definitely done a good job of preserving it to a certain degree, So we got to respect that.
Or even the understanding. Their dark arts are worked off of the understanding of who and what you are, right? So by them doing this, they're essentially revealing to you indirectly who and what you are. It's just a mirroring. It's an inverse, right? If they show you all this evil and go, look at how coordinated and structured the evil is worldwide. Well, it has to reveal, if not directly, indirectly, that there's an opposing idea or force. And that is who and what we are as an essence, right? So when they tell you you're non-essential, they essentially give you an opportunity to ask yourself, is that true? Am I non-essential? Am I lacking the essential component of the universal law, consciousness and awareness with conscience? And then you come to the conclusion, no, I'm not non-essential. Thank you for telling me that, because you gave me an opportunity to question myself and my life, to be revealed what my purpose is. So I thank these people. Without that, see, that's equity. When you understand that without these people, you would not be who and what you are today, right? And you can go right to the bad version of that. I don't do that because I'm not a victim. There's no victims in this, right? So yeah, I immediately become aware at a certain point. I go, holy shit, the people I've been bitching, complaining, and thinking I was at war against are actually my greatest teachers and testers, just like Star Wars will tell you, Luke, I am your father, right? In an indirect way, that motherfucker Luke could not have become who and what he was if it was not the dark side of the force constantly testing him, challenging him, forcing him to rise to the occasion to use the force, right? So again, it's a cosmic play and dynamic. It's all necessary for us to attain awareness and completion.
Yeah, when I was a dirtball doing my little minimal dirt, whatever, just like.
What do you mean was?
Yeah. So like there was people in the neighborhood, right? And it's almost like you'd be like shocked that you could get away with this. Like you're able to just run amok in the hood and people like put up with it or actually kind of like go along with it or look up to you a little bit. But then there were certain people in the neighborhood that just didn't fucking buy into any of that bullshit and always looked at you for what I really was and like treated me how I should be treated. Like, and in hindsight, I have more respect for that person than the goofballs who either went along with it or couldn't see nothing. And we thought but I was always shocked that we were able to get away with certain things. And I feel like that's how they feel. Like they're just shocked that they're able to just run amok on the whole fucking world like this. But eventually they get their comeuppance. But it's all just similar, dude. It's just, I had a point there, kind of. I think I kind of made a little bit of a point, but they're just shocked, bro, at how easily they can run amok on us. Is my point. And the inverse of that is we're going to be shocked at the power we have to just stand up for ourselves and how simple it could be. Like the simple freedom of travel shit. You start getting this empowerment and you realize just everyone's a fucking bitch, dude. So you just get more powerful. Like you're saying, they just hide. It's just bully shit. They're just hiding from you what you are. Or you know what I mean? Because
that's the thing is they folks presume that physical power is the only power that exists here. If you take me and put me in a jail cell and I feel in my own way, right? It doesn't mean completely, but it at the core of my being, I feel almost more centered and peaceful and powerful knowing I've done the work and that now I'm where I'm supposed to be. It's a strange thing to explain, right? It's a lot like what I imagine the Christed being on the cross would be experiencing. Because he's like, I'm walking this way and it all leads to death or imprisonment. Well, that must be part of the test again. How do I find faith in this arena, in this moment? So you're walking a path internally the rest of them have forgot about, right? So of course you're going to get more powerful internally because that's where the focus is. You gaining self-knowledge, you gaining self-security and faith, right? And saying, I'm going to do what's true and what's right as much as possible and surrender the rest. You know, that's the thing they've lost sight of. They don't have that faith. Therefore, they don't have that metaphysical power. All they have is physical worldly power. And it's going to be their undoing, right? We're literally going to go like this. Some of us at a certain point, like the spiral, you know, the DNA spiral, they have climbed the ladder of success and worldly power, and they're going to go back down. Those of us who've gone down are going to come back up and rise. And you're going to see agrarian farming resolutions, if you will, you know, and other enlightenment period activities at a certain point. We've seen this cycle in this realm. It always does the loop, right? It's loops within loops. And then we just have to remember and get off one loop and onto the other one. You know, there's nothing else we could do. Because again, these people and these forces with their avatars have control of the physical realm to a certain degree. Right? All we have the most control over is our metaphysical beingness that we take into the world to work with. And there's very little we actually need to do for ourselves and each other, right? We've complicated the shit out of all this. How many people do you know who just went and built a fucking log cabin, grew food, and then started a new life that way? They won't do it. It's too scary. It's too hard. It's too simple. You know, so they spend the next 20, 30 years caught up in a fucking mortgage system and all the rest of it slaving. And they turn around one day and go, now I'm on SSI and I'm 65, 70, and I don't even know what to do or what life's about. That was the process we missed, right? Building yourself, building your house, your land, your family, and then retiring at some point with the fulfillment and the peace to know I'm not indebted anymore, right? I never really was. You know, I created all this, co-created all this. That's the fulfilling part of life I'm starting to suspect that we've all missed, right? That's why so many people have the money and have the time and they're retired and they're miserable because they're unfulfilled. They didn't do the proper process of what we came here to do on some level. And yeah, I think it's legal, lawful, and I think it's agrarian as well. It's about farming. You know, bro, we all wouldn't exist if it wasn't for farmers. Like, do people not realize this? What the fuck are all of us going to do if the farmers got up and just stopped doing what they were doing tomorrow? You're fucked. Are you going to eat fucking bagged and boxed food? Many of us have been doing that for a long time at one point. You know, so like you get a clue and go, what's the most valuable thing in this realm as a person, occupation? A farmer. Because without him, you're all gone. So why would you not become on some level the most important person in this realm, at least on the ground? You know, they've been taught that that's the lowest form of life, right? Go be like a Kardashian in LA. If you're a farmer, you're a low-life trailer trash piece of garbage. And then what did fucking the Kardashian say? We don't need farmers. We got supermarkets to get food. She's so fucking stupid. She thinks the food comes from the supermarket, that it doesn't come from the farm. She actually said this. That what do we need farms and farmers for? We got supermarkets nowadays. So this is the level of consciousness and awareness we're dealing with, where the people you're all looking up to and emulating don't even realize the lowly trailer trash person on the land is the backbone of your existence.
Right, and he was the greatest enemy or the biggest threat, right? So what did they do? They made him so that, in my mind growing up, I looked at a farmer like a hillbilly, lower than me. Like a person came and they say, oh, I grew up on a farm. You'd be like, and they would even be kind of going along with it. They'd be like, yeah, I used to grow up on a farm, and they'd have dreams of the big city. You know what I mean? And it's like they infected the mind first. They made it seem like it was something's fucked up with it, to your point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because it always gets you by offering you more, bigger, better, and more. Right? Just like I talk about with the offers to do product placements and shit like that. You know, this thing, whatever it is, always gets everybody with the idea bigger, better, and more. So yeah, like you said, you'll have farmers and farmers' families who shit on themselves and their livelihood because they've been taught through the TV and through culture that they're a lowlife, and that the people who are really empowered and rich and moving and shaking are in the big cities. You know, so yeah, I mean, that's the culture, right? That's the cult that everybody's been a part of. They even do it to me on here. You lowlife, you're going to live on the land, self-sustainable, and have a 400 square foot trailer with all the modern day conveniences. You're such a scumbag. I go, I know, right? Because I'm not like bonded in vice and codependency to banking systems, apartments, and fucking houses and all the rest of it. You know, I'm going to focus on actually growing something to be self-sustainable and maybe contribute to the community. What a low life thing to do, huh? Right? Because this is the mind control.
and it doesn't take many generations to get powerful motherfuckers. You get people on the land, they're getting healthier, they're eating their own food, they got their own education thing. Like, that's public enemy number one to these motherfuckers. Like, you 2-3 generations in, who knows how quick that could spread. And
bro, you all forget too that everybody in a city and suburb is not trained. They don't know how to shoot. There's nowhere to shoot. Where are you going to go train every day to shoot? Many of them don't even have weapons, or if they do, they don't know how to use them properly because they don't train. They're not going to spend $30 a day to go to the range and train. I walk out of my trailer, I shoot whatever the fuck I want. Right? So, I mean, again, it's just living like a man. What does that look and feel like for you? You know, and then maybe you go back to like the old days of John Wayne, before being a man was about being pretty and cute and polite and nice and kind and having a bunch of hair products and all the rest of it, and a suit. You know, motherfuckers lived in a tent or in a cabin. They hunted, they fished, they grew whatever they were going to eat, and they would figure out a way to make a living, right? To mind their own business, essentially. Or they would become criminal and rob other weak-ass motherfuckers. You know? So, I mean, you're going to see some of that too, I suspect, if they get what they want. You're going to see some folks who are going to be self-sustainable and self-sufficient. Other folks are going to say, you know what? We're just taking whatever the fuck we need. You know, so what are you going to do when you're not trained, don't have weapons, and don't have a community? This is not fear porn. This is common fucking sense. Never in history did men just rely on themselves with no weapons and call somebody to handle everything. It's complete insanity, and this is the norm now. Right? And they're too busy worried about their comforts. What do you mean a tent? What do you mean this? What do you mean that? You're a fucking slave already. What do you think you're going to miss out on? By not, you know, by continuing this culture in society? I just don't get it. Once you flip and see the game for what it is, they're confused and I'm confused. You know, they're like, why would you go do that? I go, why would you go do that? I don't see that going anywhere. Yeah, that economic. Go ahead, Brian O'Shea. But that economic crash that I suspect is coming is going to reorder everybody's priorities, like in the Great Depression. They could be talking about how dusty and dirty I am in my trailer. They're going to be wondering how they're going to get it when they're turned out on their ass from their apartment because they can't afford it through the inflation, right? I mean, apartments over here went up $500 a month, they say, over the course of whatever it was, 2 years, 3 years. So you ain't the average college student's not going to be able to come up with $1,500, $2,000 a month for a studio, 1-bedroom apartment. So yeah, people are going to have to start living like the Mexicans been living. They get the point, or they're going to have to go back to living how the dirty white folks were living during the Great Depressions, in hostels, flop houses. You got 10, 12 people to a 1-bedroom place, make it work because y'all didn't want to prepare and get a piece of land and put something on it. And then priorities will change. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how they could trigger that a quote unquote civil war. Like just take it all away, and then you're gonna have people just split right down the middle. Some are gonna go for the daddy's handout and try to get protected, and other people are gonna fucking like their back against the wall. So they're gonna go, no, I side with the people on the land. And then you're gonna have that bifurcation, that division, and like, you know what I mean? Then it's going to be like, we're going to be expected to take deal with all these motherfuckers that are making a last minute decision to kind of go this way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you ain't got cash or nothing,
is really good. But I'll be quick. I was just gonna say I think the change is good, but it's gonna shake a lot of things up and bring chaos to people that aren't adaptable. And that's what kind of, sets some of us, or, especially you aside, that you've proven your ability to live in a tent with nothing or whatever, that adaptability is what's going to allow you to prevail for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to figure out self-sustainability, because just being able to do without when it comes to comforts isn't going to get it done. If there's you can't get blood from a stone, right? If there's no food and water, I mean, again, nobody considers a reality where their store doesn't have food and water for them, even though you saw it happen many places during the last 3 years. That you go to Walmart's all up and down and they got nothing in there. You go to the stores, whatever, they got nothing in there. Whatever's left is what's left. So there's your wake-up call. We've lived through events where you go to the store and the shelves are empty for a few days. So what are you going to do? If that becomes a worldwide or a countrywide situation, what are you going to do? They never consider that reality. And again, to me, the tiger that you don't believe in is the tiger that will eat you, right? You want to sit there and act like it's all going to just be cute and cuddly and go on forever and never consider the obvious common sense cause and effect, right? How are you living day to day, and what's the source of this beingness? And if you're not going to be the source of that beingness, you're dependent upon someone or something else. That's a fucked up place to be, especially in times of trouble. And again, I mean, I'm not doing a snafu snaps, but you got other nations that have already went this way. The guy came on yesterday from Greece. He goes, the inflation's ridiculous and everybody's on government assistance. Nobody works anymore. It's all by design. They don't want you producing. They don't want you co-creating. They don't want you to have self-worth and value in yourself and in the community. Right? They don't want you to all have networks that share products and services and information. They want you at home, locked down in your fucking hovel, living off the government and being diseased, because that's what a sedentary life starts to create, dis-ease.
Bet your ass that's coming here too. And, being uncomfortable won't kill you, but complacency will. And a lot of people are just stuck in their ways, and they're going to be lazy as fuck and jump right on it,
Well, that's the point. He's over there telling me that. I go, bro, nobody's stopping you from leaving your hovel flat, going off into the woods and starting to ask people to get as many seeds or go find a fruit, open it up and start planting seeds. Again, we've been so disempowered, folks don't even want to plant something because they're not going to get what comes from it right away. They go, what's the point of planting this? I'm so instant gratification. I'm going to have to wait 4 months before this thing produces anything. And it's like, well, yeah, that's why you live that way and you live on those timelines. 4 months, it produces, you save, you store, and now you have backups. But again, we've been so mind and heart controlled that we go online, tap a button, and something shows up. So to the average slave nowadays, there's no point in planting seeds because you have to wait in order to receive the fruit of that harvest. I mean, look at Japan, bro. They say they ride up and down the highways and they throw the pits and the seeds out the window. So there's fruit trees all up and down the highways. Why are we not doing that? Why are we throwing all of our seeds and fruit and all of it away to go to a landfill and not regenerate? There's just no common sense going on at all.
Yep. If every tree, I've been saying this for years, I'm just fucking sick of saying it, but if every fucking tree you looked at around here had some fruit on it, we'd be fine. Or every little fucking bush was some sort of vegetation instead of some.
Right, but Ryan O'Shea, watch this. What the fuck did you do this month? Did you go around and buy fruit and open up the seeds and put them in the damn ground like Brian Appleseed? Or are you going to sit here and talk about it? Because you have an ability to make a change. You have an ability to start a seed today. You have an ability to watch that thing grow into something, come back to it years later and go, oh, I planted that. So again, we may have to plant trees that we never get to sit under. The alternative is waiting for someone else to do it all for us. I mean, God has provided. Dude, just think about the idea that you could literally pick something off of the fucking tree that is full of sugar that you can eat. It's the closest thing to nature's candy. And then you can literally put it back in the ground and make more of it. Like, we're really fucked up. Like, how much more could you give us of just inherent power value systems that just continue on with the least amount of effort? We can't even get that done, apparently, as a collective. We don't seem to see the reason to, I guess. Like, why should I go buy fruit today and plant the fucking seeds? I don't know. Someone else will do it.
And it's so exponential and abundant fucking vision, or like, it just shows so clearly the abundance and prosperity, just even in a single apple, like how many trees that can make. And it's really going to show us, like, back to the thing of a man, the potential in us, the exponential potential of a single man acting as a seed to the world. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, like, a man, a seed can make a fucking tree, which makes lots of fucking apples with lots of fucking seeds. So we don't look around, we don't see too many. We see people who think they're the man, but how about just being a fucking man, creating the image of God, and we'll see some fucking cool shit. We could do it together. Oh, there's a man, a man, a man. There's a group of men. They're just dudes, but they're fucking badass, like a man would be on earth, living to his potential.
So just a kind of a random idea, but I don't think it's too far-fetched. Like you or I, Brian, out in our travels, maybe in the right place at the right time, just communicating with people. And I'm sure someone would be willing to offer up, a corner little spot of their land to let you, create a harvest. And, as long as you're willing to share it with them or whatever. And, we could easily work together. It would be no sweat off someone's back, if they had.
I did that in Arizona, man. I had literally everything I could imagine. I had stages for comedy. They were growing 5,000 fucking quote unquote hemp plants, but hemp and weed are pretty much exactly the same thing.
Dude, you could get a fucking couple acres of land on Arizona in certain parts for like $1,000, and then, you just have to make it work. I mean, if you're in a desert type climate, you just got to figure out what thrives there, or alter the environment. You put up some netting, some shade cloth, maybe you do a greenhouse effect. It depends on what you're working with. But yeah, I mean, again, the main thing is just trying something, doing something different, because usually what I find is when you try something new and do something different, something comes out of that. Even if what you were planning isn't great, you figure something else out and go, you know what, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then, get all freaked out. But yeah, you can still do the nomad thing. But but yeah, doing something on a piece of land is nice because I made that garden, dude. I made a garden from scratch, and even though it got neglected, the shit still grew. A bunch of shit, badass shit, fucking grew, dude. So I know I could do that shit. I fucking proved it, like, and that's a great feeling, dude. And I felt bad neglecting it, dude. I was like, fuck. And the shit still grew. And fucking, yeah, that's all it's gonna take, dude. It ain't fucking rocket surgery. Just fucking.
Do you see Brian O'Shea's face when he delivers a bad joke? he winces. He gets this look on his face like you just stabbed him. Not rocket surgery. Ah. Like,
I'm looking at chat
you're
like
so uncomfortable in your own skin, Brian O'Shea. Like you can't pull across the bad joke without visibly being put off, without wincing. What's going on with the stage show lately? Did you get any new material going or what?
Nah, I desperately.
What the hell are you in right now? What are you in?
My car. Oh, my car.
Why does it look like that?
It's just
he's got it closed off to the outer world completely. It's completely dark in there.
Dark. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
You're gonna start looking like the pathetic warrior. Get some fucking light in there.
It's too much or not enough. Like fucking. But yeah, last night went well. The comedy club went well the other day, and it's like, but it's the old shit. But I know I could get. But I know I'm fucking badass. But when it comes to like 5 minutes, like, so I just want to get new shit, dude.
You tell the women that too, huh? I could really perform. If you give me this 5-minute block, you're not gonna regret it. I mean, when are you gonna have a half hour? You need that's what comics work toward, to get a half hour, an hour.
Yeah.
It was special. You still have a solid 5 minutes for years.
Yeah. And it's like, and I've experimented with it, dude, with different. So I just gotta just fucking focus on it. Actually try. You know what I mean? That's what, like, just think about something and try to fucking accomplish something with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, do you believe you really dedicated yourself completely to the comedy, like on and off the stage?
No, I mean, I haven't been doing much off stage, to be honest with it. Even like trying to write, I mean, that's a minimum, right? Writing, but even what you're saying, like, study it.
But it's like, dude, no one becomes successful going, I'm just going to do it part-time. They go, every day I wake up, I need an hour or two with the pad. Writing, thinking, working a joke. You got to work it like a job, bro. The same way I do the broadcast. You got to have 3 to 4 hours a day, a couple hours a day where that's your focus. Even if you don't want to, especially if you don't want to. Well, no, again, if that's something you really want to do and excel at completely and use your potential, right? You probably have potential for a bunch of stuff. You've just never worked it completely, never dedicated yourself completely, worked it like a job,
Yeah. Even some of the music shit, like Talcott Clip Collection was going through some of my older raps, some shit I put together, and yeah, like, whether it's that, yeah, whatever venue, whatever fucking creative outlet it is. It's fucking broadcasting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you broadcast for 2-3 hours a day or more for 7 days a week for 360 days, you have to get better at it. I would think. You have to get better at it. It has to become more natural and second nature to you. You have to start to get comfortable with yourself in the room. And that's a lot of what I think comedy is. Just get comfortable with yourself, even in the uncomfortable. That's why I do the bit about the car and the loser failure with everybody. Like, can you get completely comfortable going, yeah, I'm a loser failure, and watch this? Because I've been there. I go, I'm a loser failure in these aspects, and I realized I have these talents and abilities. Now I'm going to put myself completely to it, and we're all going to see what comes of it. really got to live like that. You know, it's just accepting that, hey, I've accepted less for myself for so long and I'm not going to do it no more. And I know that by virtue of the fact of me living like that I'm going to get better and do better at certain things. I'm going to get what I want and what I need. I told you, man, when I first came on these cameras, I wasn't comfortable. You know, there's times pretty much every time before I go on where I get a little bit antsy. You know, there's like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? And then I go, how many times am I going to play this bullshit game with myself? You turn it on, you go. Wherever it goes, it goes. And you get comfortable with that idea. Right? So the more you get comfortable with the uncomfortable and just working it, I think the better that you do, the more natural it becomes, the more it just kind of flows.
Yeah, because that perfectionism shit will become turns into procrastination, which turns into stagnation, and it turns into fucking nothing.
Yeah, that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You're not a perfectionist in anything you do, so why are you lying to yourself? If you were a perfectionist, you wouldn't accept nothing less than perfect. Not doing anything or not as much as you could do is not being a perfectionist. You're just afraid to succeed and afraid to fail.
Right? Is there a
if you're really a perfectionist, you'd be perfecting yourself.
Right. It's some sort of
you probably just don't have high self-esteem or enough self-esteem. So whenever you do something, you look at it and go, why the fuck did I do this? This sucks. How are you going to win if you don't believe in you and what the fuck you're doing or learn to?
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Discouragement.
Right. Discouragement. You either have courage or you're discouraged. So you have to have the courage to say, yeah, I am valuable. Yeah, I am good enough. And if not, I'm going to perfect myself to be that. But for right now, here's what the fuck I got. What do you got? That's why I come at people the way I do. I go, you ain't going to discourage me. If I ain't perfected, I'm perfecting myself. So I'm going to be there one day. What the fuck do you got? What are you doing? Kind of the attitude you got to have. You think any one of these good comedians or musicians or athletes didn't have a whole bunch of people telling them they sucked? Why are you doing that? You're wasting your fucking time. Go back to Denny's like you lose your friends. And they got to get up every fucking day and hit that fucking field or that notebook or that booth like it's their first time ever, hungry and inspired. And tell everybody to go fuck themselves because they're going to win and get what they want and need. They got a dream, they got goals, they got aspirations, and they're going to attain it. When somebody lives like that, usually something happens. It's just a question of time and consistency.
Yeah, it's like when you're training jiu-jitsu, like there is an aspect. It's not just how many years you've been to the school. There's an aspect of how much you try and what, you know what I mean? Like in terms of how quick you could progress, like to get into a black belt. And there's many different black belts. Black belts can get beat by lower belts. But my point is that like, these are like skills and everything. Whether there's comedian black belts, whether it's fucking whatever, broadcasting black belt. So you're going to, like you said, you put in a few hours every day. And the daily thing's probably the big part of it. Whether it's 20 minutes to 2 hours, 4 hours, it's the daily thing. Like you're practicing that piano, like sometimes a little goes.
Yeah, every process has a beginning, middle, and end. Do you know where you are in the process? And are you giving the appropriate time, energy, and attention, thoughts, emotions, and actions to the point in that process? So every pilot has the first day he gets in the cockpit. And then after thousands of hours, he knows it like the back of his hand. He's an expert. Just like you said, a black belt has thousands of hours in a dojo. He's living it and breathing it on some level. That's just the nature of who and what we are and how things work. There's no getting around it. Practice makes perfection. So if you're not practicing every day, you're not a perfectionist because that's where perfection comes from. Practice.
Yeah, I was just trying to relate it to this concept I heard about hoarders, where a hoarder's problem is they have an OCD, quote unquote, perfectionist problem where they never start.
A hoarder's problem is they have no fucking self-will and self-discipline. You look around and go, the fucking house is a mess. I'm a disgusting pig. It has to stop today. And I'm going to get off my ass and throw it all out and start over. It's called self-will and self-discipline. You all want to give me these bullshit excuses and justifications. It's not going to get it done. So when the hoarder no longer has a house because they're thrown out on their ass because they've turned the place into a dumping ground, well, then maybe they'll get some self-will and discipline at that point. It'll be too late then, at least for that house. So either you got excuses and justifications, or you got thoughts, emotions, and actions that align. What do I want? A clean fucking house in life. What do I need to do? Clean the fucking house in my life. Is there room for excuses and justifications? No, because that'll lead to the opposite of what I say I want. Simple, but difficult, because you got to retrain your brain, and you got to set habits and standards. And most people don't like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good talking these times, man. Yeah, because people want to put, they want to smooth over cupcakey fucking, like, quote unquote diagnoses or whatever, or counsel. But you see,
the bottom line is we've never really had any men in our life to just tell us you're a fat, lazy fuck, like my father used to tell me. Get the fuck up and do and be something in this life. You're wasting your time. And at one point, it finally clicked, I guess. You know, I thought it was all abuse, but he's like, no, I've lived this life. Basically, he was telling me what I was telling him in a roundabout way, because he wouldn't cop to it. His ego and pride wouldn't let him cop to that he's a coward who's wasted his life. So indirectly, he's telling me that. I'm a punk-ass coward who's lived in fear all my life and not realized my dreams and actualized. You don't need to do that. He was right. Regardless of the fact that I wanted to argue with him, how are you going to lead me to where you haven't gone? It wasn't about that, because I got that thing in me that will lead me. So what he was saying is true. I just had to realize he wasn't my earthly, worldly leader. And I guess apparently what he was telling me, he wasn't aware there was something inside of him that could get that done. Because you choose to be a fucking coward. You choose to be non-actualized and realized. Because your fear is bigger than your faith. And your will and discipline.
I would say, I'm not trying to justify your dad's situation, but I would say he's a product of his environment. He's very similar to my dad, and to me, you're subtly honoring your dad, for teaching you that tough lesson, and it's cool to hear and see that. Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I mean, my gripe with my father comes mostly with objective logic, morals, and ethics and spirituality. With that said, on the ground, I think any man who was born in the time he was, who's lived the life he's lived, is bound to learn something and pass on some understanding or information that will work for the being. I mean, even just down to the level of him constantly getting his money back for shit. Nobody else would be able to get their money back, and he would always go in there and argue and fight with him and get what the fuck he came for. So just those little things made me learn in life, your job is to keep, and have who and what you are and what you're going to do. Their job is to test you and take it. If you just understand that one principle, you'll learn so much about life, right? Just like these panels. My job is to be Paul Unslaved consistently and not waver. Their job is to test me, challenge me, and try to take what I've created. I mean, it's unpretty, but it's just the dynamic of life, it seems. Living in a world full of infidels and reprobates. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of inspiration and empowerment. Knowing for myself as a man that nobody's going to get one over on me. So I take that to today. There's nowhere I go where they try to fuck me that I don't get my money back, or you ain't going to hear from me consistently. I'm going to get what I want and need in this life, and you're not going to play me. And because, again, I'm in control. I'm either going to get what I want and need, or I'm going to be my own worst enemy and play me out of position. If I do everything right, everything works. That's what I found. Life is fair. They always say life is not fair. In a way, it is, right? They look at other shit to say it's not fair. I look at the core of who and what we are in our beingness individually. If you put in a certain amount of time, energy, attention, if you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you will receive. So on some levels, life's not fair because it seems random, but there's a deterministic component where you get what you give, it would seem to me. So it appears it's not fair, but it's very fair because you don't get to control outside situations and circumstances. You get to do something with it from the inside out. Based on what you do with that, you'll get something. That's why I said to you too, Brian, it's about calculated risk, man. You go, I don't know if you were talking, but you're on mute. You go to them fucking casinos and you give your money to people who most likely are going to win every time. You got crypto and other things where you could gamble indirectly and you could make your money work for you. Right? I told you I put a stack on that gas. It was at $2.60. It's up to 14 as of yesterday. So you do the math. It's almost a 5-6x, but I took profit along the way. So I really only got a 2x because I'm not going to be greedy this time around. Last time around, I put it on there and let it all ride till it drove back down. I lost all the profit. This time I waited till the bear market, put it on something when it was at its lowest, and I take $100 a day. I don't need to make 5-6x. If I could 2-3x my investment, I'm way ahead of the game percentage wise. So I'm still gambling. I still get the rush. I still get to play all the games you get to play in the body and in the world, but it's for a different outcome and different results. And there's a higher probability that if I use the charting and I make connections with my IQ, that I can game the system, so to speak. Because it's not really gaming the systems. It's just looking at trends and making connections.
I mean, it's literally exactly like poker. Like, that's exactly what you're doing in poker. You're just watching what's going on and making educated choices. You know what I mean? A lot of times they're worse than you. So you could apply pressure. You could do things to them to force them into mistakes but whatever, dude. Like, but the thing is, you don't know if poker's like 100% legit, like especially online. And then another thing is your time, energy, and attention, like you're saying, like especially nowadays,
Right.
you kind of really got to be all about it to kind of make money at it. And it's like, do I really want to be all about poker like right now, the way the world
Right,
is?
and
like,
you don't. I could tell that it's not even what you want. I could tell by looking at you the same way if you recorded yourself. It's not where you want to be. You don't want to be in a fucking dark casino stuck to a screen trying to make the next play. You know, you want your money to work for you if you're going to gamble. That means you put in a fucking pick and you walk away and go back to working. So now you got two incomes, potentially. You're gambling on one end, but you're not really because you're not using your time, energy, attention for it. You're making a calculated risk with what you have to create more. And while that's possibly happening over the next 3 weeks or for whatever months, if you're charting that way, you're working and doing other things, right? So you create multiple sources of potential value. But again, if you're putting all your time, energy, attention in a casino stuck to a screen trying to make the next play, 3/4 of the time you lose that bet anyway, just statistically. You know, especially once you get in that chasing mode and you're chasing. You're trying to get out of a hole. You're trying to double, you're chasing. When you're seeking and chasing, usually it don't happen from what I noticed. It's when a motherfucker is right where he needs to be. It just all kind of comes together. Right? You ever seen, the vibe I'm talking about when you walk into a place and you go, everything's a little bit too right today, and you just start winning. And then at a certain point, you go, you know what? I'm going to pick up and leave because this ain't going to last forever. There's just some times where everything comes together. You're in that groove and in that flow and you're centered and peaceful and empowered. But most people don't go gamble like that. They're chasing. They're seeking. They get behind. Now they got to get out of a hole. The energy's toxic. It's bad. It don't work. I put that fucking thing the other day. I said, this thing's at 1% of its all-time high, $99, and it's at $2.60. So it's got room to move, right? What would that be? Almost 100x to whatever I put in. And I watched the chart. I said the chart on the monthly scale is lowest it's been. It went from top to bottom. So it's bound to go. What comes down must go up. What goes up must come down. So I make the pick and I walk away. I go back to my life. So I'm creating value over here. I got value being created over here. And then I go and I take whatever comes from that. I put it in a third thing. Silver at its lowest, right? Buying at 20. It's already up 23, 25. Everything's making. I'm not doing nothing. Doing with it, non-doing. That's a Taoist principle.
Yeah. See, time, energy, and attention. Yeah, just because I kind of look at that shit like day trading, where I think, oh, you got to have skills, but nah. Yeah, it does seem more low. Like you're just kind of the trend that you're talking about. How important you brought up this concept of trends. Trendsetters, people that can see trends. Yeah, that's kind of like Yeah, it's like people can't see shit coming. Like that's you see that's a big problem in the world. People just are oblivious to what's coming. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, I could just, there's got to be a way to sort of capitalize on this. These horrible.
But this is the point I learned from the supposed masters, right? It's about being in alignment with the outcome, and not getting emotional, right? Just maintaining your inner space. Because most people who, again, have lost in the past aren't going to come back to it and say, I lost 10K because of whatever, some bankruptcy shit. So I'm going to put another 1K on this with a different type of situation. They're just going to put it up and say, I'm never going to fuck with it again. So now that thing owns them. See, for me, it's not even about the fiat all the time. To me, it's about you ain't going to get me to fall off the horse and not get back on. So you want to bankrupt me and play Sam Bankman-Fried games and walk off? Well, you're going to prison now. And all you took was 10K. I'm going to get that all back and then some on this next rally. And you ain't going to trick me out of position, again, in my power. Because anything you lose, you can get it back. It's just the way that it is. Especially if, again, you buy in halfway through a rally or 3/4 of the way through, you bought in at the high point. You're already stupid, whether you knew it or not. You're supposed to let that rally pass. You don't even buy into that. You let them all make their money and then you watch it. When it cracks down again, that's when you buy in and you fucking wait. You have to wait a year and a half. That's how success happens. Patient motherfuckers who are consistent, right? Millionaires are made in a bear market. They're not made when everyone else is buying because they're FOMOing. The millionaires are made when nobody's buying because everybody's shook. You say, give me some of that. Because I saw what happened last time and I know where it's going to go. And I'm willing to take a calculated risk because anything I lose, I can get back anyway. I am the value.
Yeah.
You're probably not the perfect crypto guy, but you're just not afraid to fail because you're making the right moves and you're heading in the right direction at least, and just wanted to throw that out there.
Look at this bozo. Ascending Ancient. What token, Paul? Gas should I put in? No. I'd love for you to buy in so I could dump on you like the rest of them do. I'd love to shill the coins and get you all to buy in and run it up even more so I could sell. No, you don't buy in when it just did a 200% run over the past month. You pick something else. Why would you buy into a coin? You're FOMOing. You're doing it now. I'll show you the chart right now. You tell me if you buy in here. Okay. You tell me, genius. You buy now. If you want to buy in for long term, I don't know what gas is and what it does. I don't give a fuck. I didn't buy into it because I believe in the project. I bought in because it was low as shit and I saw it start to bubble. And I said, I'm going to make 30, 40, 50% off this. I didn't know it was going to 4 or 5x over the course of a month. So I'll show you the chart and you tell me if you should buy in when the thing is like over the last month at the highest point it's been. No, your time to buy was when I bought. That's over. So you go find something else. Unless you believe in the project or think it's going to 100x and you're buying in to wait for 6 months from now when the halving event happens with Bitcoin and it goes past its all-time high and drags the rest of the market with it. You're not going to do that. And again, I don't see why you would do that because there's other projects out there that haven't pumped as much as this. You just go put something on that. Yield Guild Games is one that I made a pick. I made 2 this month or 3 as of the other day. I put another one in. Right, that one went down $100-$200. I'm still up overall, and I know on some level, I don't know, but I feel on some level, even though that one went down 100 or 2, over the next month or two, it's going to go way up. Right, so I'm making picks oftentimes when things are at their lowest, and it's short/middle/long term, depending on what happens. If it goes up crazy in the short term, I take profit back to my original investment. If it goes down or whatever, then I just hold it and I wait. Because again, if you buy 15,000 of these tokens for $600 and its all-time high is $50, I only need that motherfucker to go to $1 to have 15K. Right? So I'm just waiting because I watch the game. I see the 4-year cycles. I know the halving event game. I know Bitcoin's tendencies. I mean, I've never seen Bitcoin run up or stay steady like this in a bear market during World War. Talks of war. So that tells me this thing's not going away. It's pumping more than ever during World War III because some folks know we're going over to digital currency. So they're accumulating. They're not stupid.
Right. And the mainstream like financial investors, who knows what they're telling their customers? They're probably telling some inverted fucking story, right? Of what we see without even fucking paying attention to any other bullshit. Like these people's 401ks and all these things they're fucking putting faith in, you know what I mean? Isn't that all just going to be pulled right out from under him?
He wants to buy in on that chart right there. He wants to buy high, sell low. That's the key in this. Buy high, sell low.
A servant. He's Robin Hood. He fucking...
Yeah. No, bro, you buy in back here where I bought in. Hold up. Fucking not the big chart.
First time riding a bike, you get your training wheels on.
Yeah, you're buying back here.
You need to be perfect at it.
You don't buy in up there. That's when you sell. Or you sell a little bit along the way, right? If you buy in at 260 like I did, it goes up to, it's at 1230 now. But last night it went up to 1360. You know? You take 100 a day, 100 a day, 100 a day, 100 a day till it equals 1500, 2000. You put in 1,000, you get back 25 or 3. You take out your initial investment if you want to let it ride. This way you can't lose, or you just bank it and then move into another one. I mean, shit, like I said, I'm going to take pieces along the way till I get back my initial and then some, and then I'm going to let it ride because I believe the thing's going to 100x. I can't lose. Even if it crashes back down, it's not going to crash back down past 1% of its all-time high. So I just take out whatever's left, and I'm still ahead, right? So you get the best of both worlds. I get to take a little bit of profit each day. I don't get a risk long-term once I get back my initial investment. And if I let the rest ride, there's 800 in there. If it 100x's or even 10x's, it's 8 G's.
You could stake poker players too. You could look at their graphs. Like they have graphs just like that, but you're going to want to invest in the guy whose graph is up, but whatever. If you're looking at ways to invest.
I don't know nothing about poker, bro. I don't know nothing about it. I don't care. There's nothing there for me. I got to sit there all day, every day just to generate a few $100. If I could do 10x that by just putting in a fucking pick and walking away, that's what I'm going to do.
Right. I mean, if you get in the right game, dude, it literally would be like taking candy from a baby. But that world's shady, though, bro. You can never be 100% sure.
I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. I'm not into sitting around with a bunch of loser failures desperately trying to generate a profit and get a gambling fix. I don't need it.
You should see it at the highest level. You know what they're using now is solvers, just like the chess players. So every time, like I even want to start doing it. You'll play a hand. You could put any hand with the scenario in and see what the solver would like to do, like a computer simulation. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the nerds are all about the solvers. Even in the chess is quote unquote to chess. If you use the solver against the best, you could probably beat the best in the world. You know what I mean? In chess, but it's interesting. The AI.
Great, now he's playing poker with AI. That's fun.
Well, AI supposedly
like the guys
best.
who used to go and play SOCOM on the internet and they used to put up hacks and cheats. I go, what's the point of playing this if you're hacking and cheating? The whole point of playing a video game is to get good at it and beat people. Well, you got to cheat. What's the point?
Well, the interesting part is that they use it as a study tool. You know what I mean? And that creates trends. So they know, people are doing what the solver's trying, you know what I mean? Or should I think about, because some people will try to play with the solver and then they lose like that. It's like, no, get the information from the solver and then play with your human instincts, in situations. But it's use the solver as just like another data point of how it plays. Because it's interesting how it plays, dude. It teaches people, dude. It's wild, the moves it makes and shit. It's unexpected, some of the stuff, but a lot of it's kind of correct, in the long run, I guess. Yeah,
the thing about the solver is it's going to always be right the more you zoom out. You zoom out on the chart, it's always going to be right because it's playing based off a logarithm, an algorithm.
Yeah,
Playing based off extreme logic.
Sheer data. No, it's sheer just physics, just playing itself, just billions and millions of times, simulations in seconds, and it comes up with just the zoom out. Yeah, it's able to play billions and trillions of hands versus itself.
Yeah, the point is you are the solver. If you play thousands of hands, you tend to catch a trend of what you do and what they do and what happens and how the universe works, because there's a universal component. I can't deny it. I mean, there's just some times where you go in and you go, I'm going to play this right now because it feels right. And you don't know why. And it works. So what is that? The machine doesn't have access to that. Human being does. All right. Human being can tap into other human beings at the table somehow and go, I don't know why, but I'm going to win right here. And then it just happens. So is it luck? Is it coincidence, or is there an otherworldly kind of connection here or understanding that starts to overlay? I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of practice, a little bit of trending, a little bit of reading, and then a little bit of knowing yourself and going, I know what I'm supposed to do right here or not, because I've done it so many times before. It's like Doyle Brunson. He's going to play the 210. We don't know why, but when he does, it works. He is the solver, right? You become the solver.
Yeah, it's all these life situations too. Oh, I'm going to go in this store. This mask retard is going to try to not let me in the store. Okay, I've been here, I made videos about it. Okay, this probably going to react like this. Okay, this guy's got his lights on. He's pulling me over. Okay, he's probably going to do this. All right, they drag me into a courthouse. All right, they're probably going to be like this. I don't know. You know what I mean? But those are hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's trending. The more times you get arrested, the more times you go to court, the more times you find the in and outs of it and how it works beyond what it is you thought it was. Right? And even then, do you ever really know, or do you just know for you what you're going to do and not do? I don't know how this shit works. I just know I keep doing whatever I'm going to do, and I'm still here talking.
Yeah.
I go, you keep handing me papers and telling me to sign them, and I don't, and I keep walking away and not coming back, and you all haven't come to get me yet. So either I'm real lucky or I'm real good, or a combination of both.
You keep handing me papers. The part of the craft and deception. It's something to do with the word understand. They love to be like, do you understand? Even the cops, even the retards at the window. Do you understand?
And I love to go, and unlike most slaves who try to prove how smart they are while proving how foolish they are, I love to say I don't understand anything because I don't.
Right. And
I'm being honest. I don't understand how the world works completely, or the universe, or the force, or law, or the rest of it. I just know I have conscience that tells me right from wrong, and I'm going to go with that.
And my gut tells me, my gut tells me these tippy tappers at my window don't know what the fuck's going on either, or the judges, or most of the people in the courtroom. They don't know what the fuck's going on, so I just take comfort in that. Like I say, I don't understand, and I think you guys don't understand either. So whatever gibberish games you're playing.
If they understood, if there was something to objectively understand, they wouldn't regularly disagree with each other. So it's proof that there is no objective understanding to attain. Either you subjectively claim to understand, which is not possible. How do you understand something that's illogical? You're basically proving you're part of their game. Indirectly. Again, I'm not playing to win in their game. I'm playing on what is objectively true. And what's true is I don't understand any of this, and I don't think you do either. Because if you did, you all wouldn't disagree constantly and be changing this shit constantly. So if you all don't understand it and you're here 20 fucking years all day, every day, I definitely don't understand it. And all we now have is you trying to put me in fear over what you say you understand that I have no reason to believe you do. Because everyone has a different take on it. We wouldn't have the issues and problems we do if everyone didn't have a different take on it. Some administrators say we can walk around with guns and shoot them in the air like Yosemite Sam. Others say we can't have more than 8 rounds in a gun, and it's got to be in a locked purse. So who understands what exactly?
Yep, exactly.
Because again, there is only the objective truth. So if you're not serving that, there's no way you could understand, because you're working in the world and of it, which is Babel. All it is Babylon.
Right. So then I got to be like you're saying, you got to constantly be daddy to people. Then it's like, okay, you just don't understand.
That's where daddy comes from. Constantly realizing you got a bunch of not capable, incompetent folks who want to tell you they understand and then tell you what you're going to do. And I go, not exactly. Oh, well, there's fear coming with this. Yeah, I get that. But there's what's true and what's right. And then there's what you want. So now I have to reduce you to a child. You don't get what you want in this moment and what you've always gotten because what's true and what's right is in the way. That's being everybody's daddy. They don't want to serve truth. They don't want to do what's true and what's right. And I'm not going to let them get out of this simulation without a questionnaire and without accountability. That's it.
Then they're going to throw a temper tantrum and ask me to get out of the car, and they're going to get all ego hurt. I'm going to say,
but what really happens when you just smile at them like you're doing or even did last time and just get out of the car and go, now what? And just look at them and just keep talking and asking questions. Well, where does it go? They can't tantrum at that point. They're so focused on trying to solve the problem that there's no time to tantrum and play ego games. You don't challenge them. You don't resist them. You just call their attention back to what's going on. I didn't challenge them and resist them that day. I started tantruming in my own way. I started yelling out, resist, comply, submit, all places, all times, because it calls their attention back to how we're all childlike. We're all pretending we understand, getting a paycheck, showing up like we're in the know, and look at what we're creating. This is what you want to be part of? So I don't need to challenge them and resist them or even be mad at them to call out who and what they are and what they serve and call their attention back to what it creates. And then they sit there and they're looking and go, who's this guy? What's this about? And they start thinking, what he's saying is kind of true. He's being weird and bizarre. So he's kind of breaking the ice here with this bizarre display, but it kind of puts everybody off balance and off guard for them to receive. And they go, he's kind of right. It's submit, comply, do what we say, all places, all times. And we really don't like that. We just believe we have to be part of it. So then they go, you know what? Maybe we treat this person how we'd want to be treated because we don't like submit, comply, all places, all times. And we know it's not going to be good for us. You're not resisting them. You're not challenging them. You're not even denying them an opportunity to do whatever they please. You're just calling their attention back to what you know is true and what's right and what's best for all of us.
Yeah. And I think it hits home because I told the one guy, I go, I'm not bothering no one. I go, there's no injured party. And then I think he thought about that, dude. And I'm in certain areas, I feel like they just leave him alone. It's like, oh, he's not bothering no one. Just leave that one alone. You get they call it exceptions, but it's not exception. It's
officer discretion.
Officer discretion. And then there's been societies of people that have moved like that. They've been exceptions. They've been the free ones. While the rest of the world is slaved up, they get exceptions with the kings and
right.
Shit.
How do you account for 100 people a day going to jail for drugs and then one guy walking up on the cops and going, listen, bro, I'm out here selling drugs. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Here's $500. Just fucking leave me alone. I give you $500 a day. Just leave me alone. Then they just kind of go, what? You just came out, told on yourself and gave me money. That's the guy who's going to get left alone. He took a calculated risk. He knows what he understands and what he doesn't. And he's willing to work with what he has and what he knows. It happens all day, every day. You'll have a cop who will arrest 100 people on the street with 5, grams or whatever, or a gram or whatever, and not even think twice about it. As soon as a real motherfucker comes up to them and gives them an opportunity, they're going to think twice about it. Because in their mind, they go, I'm not stopping the drugs anyway. This is all nonsense anyway. I'm really just here to, unless they're really super cop, RoboCop, and they really believe all the bullshit, which most don't after a certain amount of time. They go, this is not working. It's not helping. And we're creating a whole bunch more debt and consequence for a bunch of people who are not changing from this modality. So yeah, when they get to that point and someone walks up and says, here, you're going to make out on this. And the only consequence is you're going to have to leave one person alone. They start to go, what's the difference? It's all going to go on here all day, every day. If he's telling me what it is and not running and hiding and challenging me, there's no more game. There's no more fight. It just becomes do or don't.
Yeah. I need to mention that one way of keeping keeping a tight lid on the stream from going too long is that it's only going to last as long as the battery for the moment. So
that's how I
So
keep
we're
my stream in control, is having limited devices to do it on. Something's bound to die.
So we're at 11%. I'm not exactly sure when it likes to crap out at some point. So I want to give a heads up to that. We've been steady at 33 viewers on my end.
Wow. 33. There it is. Magic number.
Right. At 1 hour, 33
Did you
minutes.
notice that the Bentard was streaming you until I came on and he immediately got away from it?
I didn't notice that.
See
but
how
I
they
figured
are?
They would. Yeah.
Yeah, he was restreaming you. You know, they all like to laugh at Brian O'Shea or restream him. And then Paulie comes on and it's, let's go to Lumatami and get away from the restream. Right. Because you didn't want that 10 viewers to go to 33 and then 77. They're all the same. Let's go back to Lumatami, the resident tard, who we have control over.
Right. Resident Tard, Resident Evil.
Yeah, they'll restream you to mock you or to make you look like a joke, but they won't restream you when you're actually going to take their viewers. It's sad. It's kind of sad, but it's to be expected. You know, these folks have little self-worth, self-esteem, and self-empowerment, so they have to constantly protect themselves from what might be. Brian O'Shea's a silent threat out here, right? He doesn't know it, but they know it. You know, Brian O'Shea shows up every day, starts broadcasting, starts calling people out. I show up here from time to time. You know, you're now competing with the rest of these slaves on here. Get upset. You might take $3 of their fucking contribution.
Yeah, we're gonna run this to the wheels run off. You got the keys to this place, or I gotta email you that later? I'll give you the keys.
No, I don't take keys any longer. I don't accept them.
Oh.
It's not good for the community. The more keys that I collect, the more chaos happens. So I stay away from them.
You're like the asylum. You're like the head of the asylum because you got all the keys to the fucking little cells.
The keeper of the keys. Yeah, like when I walk down the hall, you hear all this jingling because I have all these keys for various asylum rooms. But yeah, I gave that up. It causes too much chaos. You know, no one man should have all that kind of power. So many different places in his life. You get upset by that.
Yeah. So if we get knocked off this, you'll take over for a minute or two, and I'll get on my phone, and then I'll probably just end the stream or whatever, or maybe keep it going, whatever, from my phone. But just giving heads up.
Still can't figure out why nobody shares his videos. He won't do any bits, non-bits. He refuses to entertain. He's too proud and egoic, but he wonders why no one will share his shit. I've indirectly tried to help him get to a position where, you know, people will share more or see him in a different way, but he's too busy yelling about US code and Jeremiah 1:4. And he won't do a bit. All right, he's too good for that. So, hello, Wizard. Hi, God of all media. I ascertained at a certain point, most people don't want all the information dense communication. All right, you got to get them a different way and keep them a different way. Then you slip some stuff in here and there in between. All right, and then they almost take it more readily because it just becomes a different energy. I don't want to do classroom every day. There's days where I do want to do it and it doesn't happen the way I'd want to because of what I've done on the other side with the entertainment portion. That's okay, right? If motherfuckers really need something, they'll come up and ask. If not, they must not really need it. Because what I found when you do that other side is you get 100 or 1,000 people who come and want to ask a bunch of questions and want to know more that do very little with it. So they're wasting my time and everyone else's. Right? So for me, would rather entertain and have a good time and slip in information here and there where it's readily available and or called for. And I think it's also taken more readily when it's in that format. It sparks people's interest and they go to look more for themselves and then they come back rather than just show up every day and do a lecture. Again, am I demeaning that? No, I think it's good. I think it needs to be there on the web for people to go and look to when they're ready. Most people you're going to find here on YouTube are not going to be ready to live the way that you think they should live. Probably the way we live to get that information at one point, like all day, every day, looking for it, amalgamating it, listening to other people, you know, putting it back out with experience. So yeah, at a certain point, I guess you got to kind of check yourself and go, I have a purpose and meaning here. But it can incorporate other elements. It doesn't have to be 24/7, 365, me informing and teaching.
Yeah, because with this community aspect, like there's going to be people like we are going to have actual teachers. Like we are going to have actual, you talk about a school, right? Or some sort of, I don't know how you described it, like some sort of I don't know if it's a college type or some sort of education's got to change, right? But yeah, some people are kind of like, or some situations are more for that. That's how I feel like I want to be. I even have to kind of fucking, even as like the comedian guy, got to fucking sort of embrace some of the bits, because I love the knowledge. I love this book, but you can't just, like you're saying, dude, you tried to do it. You tried to fucking just come with the fucking information, and you started with the Zoom calls, like you said, and you thought that this shit was going to take off. And it's like, somehow it evolved into what the fuck it is, the more entertainment shit, because we're sneaking in the information, because it just doesn't work the other way. Like you're saying, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so
people are going to come directly or indirectly because of the energy, and the vibe and the entertainment. And then the information is going to come through the experience. I mean, again, it's just about what you want for where you're at in your life. I don't want to be in a position where I show up as the teacher every day. That's going to happen anyway, indirectly. But the best teaching comes through showing. I don't believe it comes to putting a lecture screen up and talking one bullet point at a time. It comes from dealing with people over time and saying, okay, I see this, I see that. I'm going to do this different and do that different. And again, it's about like self-service too. I don't want to live a life where I'm constantly giving away everything that I have to people who may or may not use it. Like, I have to care about me. I have to love me and what I do. I have to enjoy being in my vessel on some level. My whole life can't be some form of constant repentance and seeking for redemption. I'm not going to prostrate myself 24/7, 365 in front of this force to gain acceptance. I believe if you're doing what's true and what's right and you're living good, then you can have some joy and some entertainment and the rest of it. Why not? The problem comes when we want to be joyous and blissful and have entertainment when we're not living the right way and don't hold the understanding and can't communicate it to others. So if I have that and can do that, then that's available. Well, what else is available for me? And why wouldn't I live into that as well?
Man, I'm resonating hard with what you're saying, but I'm also distracted. I'm thinking about using my phone as a backup here for this power situation, but
dick nuts. Wizard goes, someone dick nuts the other day. It came up in my head in the bathroom the other day too. I started laughing at myself. Fucking retards on here. Everybody's retarded on here, you know that, right? Dick nuts. He goes, hey, dick nuts. Oh, man. Dude, at the end of the day, right, do you want to live a life where you don't enjoy yourself and have fun? I'm not going to talcott out on you and completely neglect purpose and meaning and responsibility and accountability, but do you not want to enjoy your incarnation in your life as much as possible in slavery and genocide? I mean, we can't stop it. We can't control other people. So I may as well enjoy myself and my time while we go deeper into slavery and genocide and while I prepare.
Yeah, I'm responding to a TaskRabbit job now. I got a job at 12:30 in a couple hours.
We're going to put out a Snafu Snaps action figure with underwear over the pants.
Underwear over the what?
With underwear over the pants. It's like Captain Underpants. It's like
dancing on the table.
That's Snafu Snaps' superhero uniform. His underwear over his pants.
I mean,
Snafu Snaps on the job, Brian. God.
Oh my God.
You know what it's like to see the glimmers of success and still be stuck with people like this? The bizarre world to occupy. You talk about under overworld. Right? I'm pulling 100, 200 a day of fucking slave crypto. Same thing with the broadcast. I'm feeling good about myself and my life. I got opportunities, and I'm here with you and Snap Who Snaps, drinking urine, just passing a bottle of aged urine around. I mean, they go, this has to be indicative of my level of self-worth and self-esteem still. Either that or there's just no other place for me, right? I'm not allowed to leave where I came from. Anton doesn't want me. Them people don't want me. I'm not sophisticated and civilized enough. I'm a loose cannon. I hang with urine drinkers. Of course they don't want me. Sorry, Brian O'Shea, I'm venting. I'm talking some things through out loud. Thinking out loud.
I hear you, man. It's like, oh, we're going to get some land. Who's going to be on the land? And then you think, normies? Mass and shit. The miscreants from online. Is Flow State really going to be one of our neighbors? Is that a thing?
No. You're not getting it. You're really not getting it. These people are going to occupy no position near me, and they don't do what I do. They don't live how I live, and they can't hack it. Right? And again, maybe it's me. I'm egoic, but some of these people have already worked themselves in a position where I don't like them and I don't respect them. So I will not work with them or deal with them. And when they lose and fail, part of me will say, that's what you deserve. Sorry. Part of the new soundboard. Brian O'Shea's soundboard. I think that we're abstracting some kind of new intelligence, kind of signal.
All right, I'm gonna end it on the laptop and come right back on the phone.
Yeah, Brian O'Shea, I don't need more than a handful, 5 to 10 people to do what we're going to need to do. It's not necessarily the more the merrier. And I don't want to look at a lot of these people ever again. Once the internet shuts off, I don't want to see them ever again.
Right. I'll be back.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian O'Shea. Man. Talk about a fucking hit, huh? Man of the people. Consummate professional, comedian in his own right. Traveler, world traveler. Philosopher. The list goes on. Okay. I think Brian O'Shea's back. I held down the fort there for a second, Brian O'Shea.
Thank you, man. I'm all embarrassed from fucking having that fucking echo effect.
That's weird. You're more embarrassed about the echo effect than living in that car right now, the way it looks?
I know.
You have a strange perception.
Yeah.
Brian O'Shea, I'm kidding. Come on. Lighten up, all right? Don't give me the sad puppy look. I hate when you do that.
Oh, no.
Takes all the wind out of my sails. You're a fucking comedian. Get a thick skin already. Jesus.
You're right, man. You're right. No, that is a bad quality. And because I could be vicious, dude, but then I could be all fucking sensitive, which is a terrible quality. So you asked me to give 10 good qualities and 10 bad. Let's just do it on the fly right now, dude.
Go ahead.
I'm going to write them down. All right. That's a bad quality. When you have thin skin, but you really love to dish it out. Bad quality. What else? Get fearful.
Self-doubting.
Self-doubting. Get discouraged very easily. Possibly can be manipulated. They essentially talked into shit.
Continue let people, places, and things and circumstances manipulate you away from your purpose and meaning.
Yeah.
Because I call attention to the car to do the bit, but also remind you that the car is where you can be made or broken. This all started with me in the truck living in a tent. So all criticism is self-criticism. Do you think if somebody came to me and said, oh, because they did, oh, look at you, you're out on a tent with an Android in a truck, you ain't shit. Really? Watch this. That's the difference. So I'm toughening you up in a sense. I'm helping you develop a thick skin and make you realize that people, places, and things and circumstances don't dictate your purpose and meaning and discipline in this life and your results. Doesn't. If it did, motherfuckers couldn't get it out the mud and grind and become successful with little to nothing and nobody supporting. You got support. You got options.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about being on stage last night, and I don't know why it's fucking triggering that thought right now. Just
what happened on stage?
No, I don't know, man. It's just weird sometimes when it works out or when things are kind of unexpected or you get a good vibe from the audience, and other people are fail too. When you watch other people fail, but then you go up and you get shown love and you're able to, like, I don't know, man. It's just and then the fucking host too, like he introduced me. He goes, I found this guy fucking living in a dumpster behind the Albertsons, and I asked him if I want to do some comedy tonight, Brian O'Shea. But then when I walked up, I had the pea coat on, I had the fucking button-up shirt. Like, I looked normal.
Bro, but that's the bit. That's the fucking bit. I want you to introduce me like that because I'm going to fucking destroy this room. I want that introduction. I don't want the, oh, he's from LA and he knows Pauly Shore and all the rest of it. No. I want, you just found me at an NAAA meeting, bit non bit, and this is who this gorilla is. And I'm going to come out and fucking destroy the room. And by the end of it, we're not listening to the introduction. We don't even care. It's funny. It's interesting. That's what you want. You want an interesting story that gets them to look and listen. If it has to be out of the dumpster like fucking Ernie, then that's what it is. What do you care? Why do you care how you get them and keep them as long as your set is what it needs to be and you feel good about yourself and what you did with the room? That's the point. I don't give a fuck. Introduce me as the lowest piece of shit on earth. I love it. It gets them looking and listening. The rest is up to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's obvious now that you just expressed that because the 3 LA people did come and they bombed. They were supposed to be the features and they bombed.
Right.
And then my garbage ass got, like, just fucking,
right.
You know.
Because they want the real deal, Brian O'Shea. They're tired of this fake shit. They want the guy out of the dumpster who drinks urine and smells. Get a handle on yourself. Get your life together. Got the world at the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
3 jerk-offs showed up last night with daddy's money living in a condo in LA and failed. You climbed out of a dumpster and owned the room. You can only go up from here. They can only go down. Who's winning?
Yeah. And then the host, like, cause he was kind of bombing too, so he was probably insecure in some way. So I overlook all that. Like, these people are dealing with their own insecurity.
Dude, you're supposed to come on and you're supposed to fucking, okay, you've seen what I do here, right? What do you think would have happened if that fucking slave, first of all, I love it. Second of all, let's play. What do you think would have happened if that slave would have introduced me as someone who came out of a garbage can? What would I have done? I'd have gone, absolutely right. And I met him at XYZ. You know what I do. So you want to play with me? I play back. And then they all laugh at him. And I get the last laugh because I get to walk off. And then he's got to come back out and do something with that now. That's the game. You guys are comedians. You want to introduce me like that? It's funny. Now watch what I do with you.
Yeah. Yeah, true that. Fucking.
There's always a way to flip it, man. Oh, I met Pauly Boy outside the dumpster behind Albertsons. Yeah, absolutely right. The only thing he didn't tell you was he was asking for $10 blowjobs. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to prepare it. I can think on my feet. I got 20 seconds to walk the stage. You give me 20 seconds, it's over for you.
Yeah. That was the thing, because because I'm also a threat to them, because I go up on the main stage at the club and I fucking rock it out when I'm over there where it really counts. And then I dealt with this in Chicago. I would get in my feelers over all this shit that that you're like kind of just making it obvious I should not be focused on at all, and it's probably
It's your slave day, Brian O'Shea?
Yeah.
All right. I might have to buy you lunch then, you filthy slave. Your slave day. What's your fucking... All right, let me send something over to Brian O'Shea. Why not? Oh, he's got... I've seen that before. Wow. Zelle, Venmo, Cash App. Yeah, I've seen that. Got it all down there. All right. He's learning. Rest of the slave tards who've been around me for a year and a half don't do what I do. Brian O'Shea does. I can't be mad at that. He's learning.
I appreciate that.
Let's see. Brian O'Shea comedy. Yeah. You might want to throw a different adjective on the end of that, Brian O'Shea. Like the old Brian O'Shea comedy thing kind of throws people off.
Brian O'Shea beverages.
Brian O'Shea piss drinking.
That O'Shea beverages has a nice ring to it.
O'Shea beverages. You're gonna run with that now? You're gonna be a tycoon of the beverage industry?
Yeah, I might have to come up with that. I might have to fucking brand that Piz and, have it the whole look and feel, but doesn't have to. I mean, we'll see what we could get away with. But, it's like the raw milk. It's illegal to sell raw milk. The fermented Piz, though, dude, that might fucking be a banger, dude. It's like an alcoholic drink. Fermented fucking urine, dude.
There's something wrong with you.
Dude, Wizard knows what's up, man. It says.
Look, I can't even find your shit on here. This is what I mean. You're so retarded.
You're probably spelling.
Let me find out you got the wrong info on here. Hold on, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're putting an I in there probably. It's BRY. Anyways, this whole fermented aspect of it, dude. So you get the fermented.
Hey, bro, why do you have Rob Cleveland's picture?
Where? Oh, on what?
I know O'Shea Comedy has Rob Cleveland's.
I have used it on here, as an avatar thing.
What
but not
the hell is wrong with you?
Did someone hack my shit? Wait, it's on one of those cash things? One of those fucking. Maybe it got switched when I
something here. Can someone else confirm this? Brian O'Shea Comedy. Okay, it says Brian. No, Rob Cleveland had just come up. It's just a B, huh? Your icon's just a B?
Probably. Which one you at? Which site?
Slave app.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, Brian O'Shea Comedy.
Slave app.
Brian O'Shea Sanitation.
Oh, Cash App. Yeah, that one's probably just a B. Yeah, as long as it's spelled like that. BRYNOSHEA. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, I should probably put a picture or something.
All right, let me know if it went through. We got Meth State down there. Good to see him. $5. You want to have an interaction on his panel. $1 a month. Sign up now. They got emojis. Anyone find it interesting that all the people who didn't want attention and fame and money are now all having time and energy and attention to make emojis for you to sign up and pay for? Really interesting. They got time to make emojis now. So people could join memberships for $1 a month and use emojis. That's what they got time, energy, attention for. Did it go through, Brian O'Slave, or what?
They're going to make me check my email. So when I go to check it right now, because sometimes they're going to... Let me just check. I'll be right back. Hold it down. Let's see.
All right. A little bit of dead silence. Now,
yes. My bad. Interrupting you. Yes, it's been received. Thank
All
you
right,
so
there you
much,
go.
dude.
Don't ever say I never did nothing for you. Lunch is on me. And by the way, that's lunch at a fast food place, not at one of these fucking high level places. All right, you're not ready for that. So that's like lunch at Taco Bell.
Yeah, exactly. Roberto's Tacos. And you got to go veg. I've been going vegetarian too, so it's, you know, when it comes to convenience, trying to be healthy and fast food type shit, it's not a lot of options out there.
I'm getting over this guy Dominic too. Every time he greets somebody, he's got to like be, you know, exotic with the greeting. Namaskar. You know? All right, bro, we get it. You see the light in me, I see it in you. Let's move forward. What else you got?
Right.
Give it a rest, okay? We get it. You're fucking enlightened. You're spiritual. You're conscious. We get it.
Yeah, he tries to use some sort of hypnotic MK Ultra techniques. That when he talks, he's like, "Oh, I got these riddles." He's like talking to me one day.
He's
He
one
brought
of
up
these people who tries to deny that he has a body and does what the rest of us do. It's a bit pretentious, right? Like, I know you have a body. I know you have all the feelings I have and everyone else. And I know you have all the compulsions and impulses. Give me a break with the namaskar, right? You took a big fat shit this morning and probably jerked one out. So were you namaskaring during that or what? Were you acting like a filthy beast?
Yeah, exactly, dude. He's got that scent on him of like the guy that kind of just lingers around. And eventually,
No, he's got scent of a woman on him, like Pacino. You know, see this guy and you go, ooh, scent of a woman. Got his mama's spirit. That's what that is. Seen it before, anytime.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's some real shit. All these
men all act like that till they meet a woman who completely destroys them for being toxic feminine, right?
Yeah, look at all these dudes in the hood raised by their mothers. Look what it leads to: shenanigans of death and mayhem, and just killing someone because of your feelings.
I want to know. Fuck that. I'm coming up with a new phrase. Fuck namaskar. I see the light in you. You see it in me. That's easy for a conscious, aware person. Do you see the darkness? Are you aware of that? Have you reconciled that? Do you see the darkness in yourself and in me and in others? Have you reconciled it? So let's come up with a phrase. I see the darkness within you that I also see within me, and I've reconciled that because the light is greater. But stop with this fucking idea of creation that this is all about love and light. Okay? There's a dualistic component to creation, and it's necessary. So observe the darkness as much as you observe the light, and then you can reconcile more readily. It's what I've found.
Yeah, without the duality, you're trying to be God or you're stuck in the God mode. But you have to bifurcate. Is that, or you have to become two to become the simulation? Become the, two leads to three. You got the man, the woman, the child. So all alone is male. And then the material is when the duality comes in, right? The woman made from the rib. I don't know. Am I making any sense?
Right. I mean, I just kind of go beyond this idea of darkness or evil being unnecessary. This is a necessary component in this realm. I don't need to be toxic positive. I could just be real with myself and others. I could just be conscious and aware. I don't have to put one thing down to hold another thing up. It all works together. This is why I have no time, energy, attention for panels full of people who want to only embrace love and light. It's bullshit. These are the same toxic, positive people who, when shit gets real, want to fight and run. Because they don't live in that world day to day.
And Bonacci now wants to take it way the other way. He wants to miss
Bonacci's a fucking clown, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Okay? It's another person I'm going to endear myself to. While Jesse Howe invites him on a broadcast to try to suck dick to get money and fame, I'm going to make an enemy out of myself. Again. So fuck Santos Bonacci and everyone like him. I'm sick of you fucking cowardly punk ass bitches who never do shit and keep talking and never wind up at jail because you really ain't about it. You're probably a fucking agent or an operative. You're probably given a pass to do what you do to allow other people to choose from what the fuck you put forward. So I'm not interested in these fucking clowns. When they actually do something and deal with the consequences and sacrifices, then I'll listen. Till then, you're just talking and you're saying a whole bunch of wild, reckless shit that's going to get you and other people in trouble. The fact that it hasn't gotten you in trouble only proves more to me that you're here to get other people in trouble. Because if Paulie Boy came on here and said for 3 seconds he was going to kill officials, they'd be at my door in 3 seconds. They'd be coming to get me and serving paperwork. They already did that when I was traveling freely. Are you kidding? They brought feds in for me having guns and traveling freely. You'd think if I was on a public platform talking about murdering officials and agents, that they wouldn't have brought the whole house down on me? You're out of your fucking mind. Get a clue. That's why I'm tired of being associated with conspiracy theorists in quotes, because it's very real, some of it. As you know, I've given my take on it. But I'm tired of being associated with them because they're a bunch of inept clowns who want to endear to and attach to a bunch of false idols and misleaders. We don't need that. We don't need more people who are like that. You need them out of the way.
Hello,
Fuck is
Julian.
Santos Bonacci done for anybody, including himself? I'll wait.
Yeah.
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, no,
welcome.
I just wanted to join in on that conversation about addressing the darkness in everybody and how it's so easy to get lost in the light because we just want everything to be so comfortable and fucking butterflies and roses. So much so that you won't address serious issues that need addressing. And, you know, you'll be okay in that state of being. And I don't know.
I see the love and light in you, Julian. I only choose to see the highest good in you till you fuck me over and over again, and we all don't learn from it. Right? This is a false discernment. I can see the good and potential in everybody, as you've seen. I speak into that and pour into that. What do? Break bad on me, hate on me, and try to undo me. So if you don't see the love and light and the darkness, you're not being real with yourself and others. You're not in a space of discernment. You're in a space of toxic positivity, and it's going to get you used and abused and fucked. Like it always does.
Yeah, delusion seems to be a huge problem for everybody today. Like that, just in their delusions of what they think reality is or what they want reality to be as opposed to what it really is. It just goes back to the truth. You know, people don't want to see the truth.
And that's crazy. Why Bane was in control in a dark night. And he said, by the time I see the light, it was only blinding. I'm necessary evil. And I'm turning everything back over to the people in free will. Because you wanted to ignore the darkness where that man was raised. You wanted to cast your judgments and play political games and double standards. And then at some point, there's a reckoning. Right? So I fashioned myself, oddly enough, while I contend to walk the Christed walk in truth and uphold God's law on this metaverse, I'm like Bane. Right? I'm the necessary evil. I'm going to show you all the darkness and the shit you've been ignoring, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you and your free choice of what to do with it. And we see what they do with it. Eat themselves and each other, just like they did when they released the people from the prisons in that movie. So there's no difference between Harvey Dent, the politician, and all the people in the middle and then people in the prisons. They just got caught for doing low-level shit that they're all doing on higher levels and profiting from immensely. So, yeah, you want to ignore the darkness. You want to ignore the evil. You want to be in toxic positivity and go along to get along. At some point, you're going to have a reckoning, and you ain't going to be ready. Just like all these people tell me about their love life and their great relationships. Go see them in 3 years. Go see them in 5 years. They ain't going to be singing the same tune because they're cart before the horsing. Your dating is supposed to be about asking tough questions and figuring out if you're meant to stay together long term. It's not there to be honeymooning and codependent attaching and bonding. In a sense, it's trauma bonding from the opposite position. You all don't want to look at your darkness and where you've been traumatized and be caught up in love and light. till the shit all catches up to you and shows itself. Do it over and over again. They do it in themselves, in their relationships. They do it in the country and in the universe. It's all a holographic simulation. And it's all oneself. That's why I say, man, I'm not hating on Jesse or his relationship or the rest of them. I tell you, I get a discernment and a reading from it. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't need to be right. But when I look at motherfuckers, I go, you ain't got it. I know what it looks like and feels like because I got it. Just like I tell him, you could keep telling me you're holding 4 aces. You can't be because I'm holding them. I'm looking at them. There's only 4 in the deck. So if you ain't playing like that and you ain't really got it and I don't feel it off of you, you're bluffing. Right? Really empowered co-creative relationships don't look and feel like these motherfuckers online. Fighting me at times, telling me to go back on heroin and die or running off when the shit gets too hard. Nah, it's all the way through good, bad, and the ugly, and it's real. And it's radical authenticity, and it's growing and learning, and it's pushing comfort zones and boundaries. They don't live like that. They don't really want it. They don't really want the empowerment and the inspiration and the freedom and the true love. They don't really want it. They want the fake shit. They want the worldly shit. They want that shallow, euphoric, blissful shit. They don't want to go through hell to get to heaven or have to die to get there. That's the problem. They're not devotees. These folks are not devoted like some of us to a process and procedure that will give anything up and anyone up to be given the truth at any time. They fighting around with the slightest bit of questioning online that they know is going to expose their truth. It's pathetic. And they think that I need to talk about it to have power. I could literally shut up and go like this, and you're going to get everything that's meant for you.
Yeah, man, that's powerful shit. I don't know. I'm just resonating. Sometimes it's hard to follow. Sometimes just caught up in the resignation, but
Hey, bro, your first clue is it happens in one moment, right? I'm not hating today on one person. It comes through my head, and then I speak on it. You know, when Jesse Howe comes up there with his woman and says, we did a 6-hour deep dive on Aaron to find out he was fake, I go, you folks ain't got it. How do I know? Because Jennifer turns to me in that moment and goes, you believe this shit? I go, what? Go ahead and say it. She goes, the fact that he's so stupid, he couldn't figure this out and then went to his bitch to go and research for 6 hours, something that both of us could just look at and tell off the bat. Right? So you all were cupcaking, sucking his dick, making me the enemy till you all did a fucking 6-hour deep dive and find out he was a sick, twisted person. I didn't need a 6-hour deep dive. I didn't need that because I have discernment. And the fact that you needed that means that you're lacking. Okay? And the fact that you all keep saying I'm projecting because I have discernment and don't need to do a 6-hour deep dive is more proof of your disempowerment. Would you rather have discernment where you know who and what everybody pretty much is just by looking at them? Or do you think that it's like less egoic to have to do a 6-hour deep dive to figure out what awareness and consciousness should tell you off the bat? You ain't got it. You ain't got the intuition. You ain't got the discernment, and you don't have the knowledge of self. Because if you did, it'd be apparent immediately who and what everybody is and what their motivation and intention is and what the quality of their understanding is. You still don't get it. Even after that one simulation, there's been 10 of them at least. And I point them to it, and they still want to fight and run from it and project onto me and tell me I'm egoic and narcissistic. No, I'm intuitive and discerning. And I have the evidence and results to prove it over and over again.
yeah, it's interesting how I get all caught up in this book, right? Like I want to learn from this book, but the book, no matter what I bring up in it, like if I'm gonna go scour through it and I'm gonna bring up quotes, like it resonates, like it just fits in perfectly with what you talk about. Like, and these are people that are all about freedom. You know what I mean? Like,
because there's only one truth here. It's what I talk about is one truth. This is not my truth. This is not their truth. You either got it or you don't. This is what the ego can't handle. Everybody thinks they're going to have their own way, their own truth, their own process. You're not. There's been people from the beginning of time who've ascertained right from wrong and how to conduct oneself and what the results will lead to. You follow it or you don't. It's the way for a reason.
Yeah, and
Again,
it seems
they
like
want to do their own will, not the will. They want money and attention and validation and bliss and dopamine rushes and relationships and all the rest of it. They don't want the discernment truly. They don't want the spirit to be awakened truly. They want to live in the world and of it. They want to do as little as possible and get as much as they can get. How do you know them? They invite Santos Bonacci on and go all over talking about it because he's got a name. You're a clout chaser. You're not seeking truth to be set free. You're chasing clout. I burn clout out, right? Every time they come to me with clout, all of them, I burn it up in the room and go, it's not worth nothing to me. Your bullshit name and marketing and promotion and what you've built with your bullshit rap. It's not worth anything to me because you're not walking in the way. And that's a man of principle and integrity. I'm not saying it because it's me. I'm saying it because that's what I'm shooting for and embodying.
yeah, and one of the things that comes out in the book is like this vigilance of like, and how fragile and how just letting things slide, how freedom can be taken eventually, like they, and how drilling it in the children in the community, like daily, talk about the heroes, talk about the freedom, like talk about what's real and drill it home, and despise fucking slavery and people that sell themselves to slavery and do fucked up shit. Like,
nah, you ain't supposed to sit around and talk about heroes. That's for bitches and children to do. Men are supposed to become the heroes. See, when you become a hero, you don't have to invite other motherfuckers onto your platform to give you time, energy, name, and attention. Remember, Jesse Howe, you invited me on? Why? Because I'm a local, if nothing else, folk hero and legend. That's what they say. I don't look at it that way. I'm just a man doing what the fuck's true and what's right. You don't have that status because you don't do what I do. And there's no other way to get it. If there was, I'd have done it already. I'm pretty smart, I'm pretty resourceful, and I'm pretty good at bullshitting and hustling. And I gave it all up because there's no other way to the way. There's no other way to true inspiration and empowerment and status and value. And that's the way it should be under God. But
well, that's
Lucifer wants to rewrite and overwrite with love and light. Fuck you. It's about truth. The scripture says that you all quote. Doesn't say seek love and light to be set free. You get love and light when you seek truth.
Yeah, it seems like you embody love and light once you truly like get on that path. And it's crazy because it's so comparable to like the sun. For people, I don't know. It seems people with different levels of fear of the truth, I guess. You can watch them react just as if they had come out of the darkest cave or if they had come out of a lightly shaded area. You know what I mean? But there's different levels to how they'll react to the truth, and it's kind of just it's awesome to watch and just really kind of amazing to observe, actually. Wow.
Yeah, and it's like I try to picture, like, envision these communities we're gonna be having, sitting in front of the fire and things we talk about. But the heroes, I feel like, are being built right now, and like the stories that I'm kind of talking about, where it's more just like conversation of what you're paying attention to. Oh, look at this! Look how this person handled this situation when they came to try to slave him up or fuck with his property, or you know what I mean? And then we have video evidence we look at. Oh, okay, this is how it went down. You know what I mean? Okay, this is how you can conduct yourself. You know what I mean? Like, so because what other heroes do we fucking have to even talk about? It's like we're building. I feel like we're just starting a civilization from fucking zero or something.
We're so fucked up. We're so fucked up. We got to go back 2,000 years or hundreds of years to talk about great motherfuckers because we ain't it. That's our problem. We shouldn't be talking about the Christed being or Marcus Aurelius or Lao Tzu or any of these people. We should be talking about Brian O'Shea, Julian, Paul Unslave, Snafu Snaps, XYZ. That's our problem. We got to go hundreds and thousands of years back to even find a story of a great motherfucker to even figure out how to partially embody that life and lifestyle.
Yeah, and what are we going to drill into the heads of the youth? Like, that's why breaking away, having your own schools, and hammer it, or just showing, like you said, the example is going to be you know what I mean? You're especially a boy is going to try to emulate his father in some way, like, so that's something to think about, like, you know
But
what I
that's
mean?
the
So
point. In cultures where they have an oral culture instead of a written culture, the knowledge is passed down by being shown. There is no generational gap in the power or the understanding. It's we know every generation who and what we are, what our purpose is. It's shown to us day to day, and the stories are told by the fire, and we live and embody that and shoot for that. It's a different way of living where the knowledge is incorporated into the day to day living and practice. You can't escape it because you can't escape self. We don't live in that culture. We got to go back into books to find out what life was or what truth was before the overlay. And again, it's always the same thing. That's
yeah,
why
and
I
guess
say
what?
culture and society is our enemy in a sense. Not that we have to do war on it, but culture, society, and what it creates is not your friend, and it doesn't benefit you. It takes you away from who and what you truly are and gives you a set of value systems that are not inherently true or valuable. They're just valuable to that society and that culture.
Yeah, and who's the greatest enemy? If we're in the worst of the worst, the Kali Yuga, worst of the worst age to live in, most deception, most craft. And if we're the greatest enemy to that deception and craft not working, then we're in a fertile land to it. I don't know if you should like strive to be a hero, but it's like, what the fuck? Just being a man is like you're going to be a hero, just like you said.
Yeah, no, you don't. I didn't do all this going, I'm going to get money, fame, attention, and be a hero. I said, I'm going to step out into faith, into what's true and what's right, and see what the fuck my power really is and what's working with me. It's stepping out into faith. That other shit comes. You think the Christed being said, I'm going to become a hero and get money and attention and fame? No. That motherfucker said, I'm on an organic journey here. I want to know who and what I am and what my power is and isn't, what my rights are and aren't. So I'm going to do what's apparent to me in conscience. And then all the other shit came with it afterward. Right? Because again, it's inherent hierarchical power and value systems. Doesn't matter what everyone else says the power is and the value is. You do this walk and you're guaranteed a certain amount of power and value because it's rare, because it's based in truth. And the world is living a lie predominantly. That's the thing about truth. It's intangible, but it's inescapable because it's a cause and effect based endeavor. You do this, you get this. You don't do this, you get this. It's been the same from the beginning of time. So you can ignore it to your own detriment. Once you receive it and apprehend it and live it, you're guaranteed a certain status, a certain amount of value and power, if nothing else, within yourself. And that's all a motherfucker needs in this creation. Ask somebody who's got all the worldly power and the money, who hates themselves and doesn't like their inner space. Doesn't matter. But once you got that, you can get everything else, as long as you do it the right way.
Yeah, man, it's got me thinking about that language where it's impossible to lie. Like, yeah, that happened. That probably happened. There probably was a time, but it's not this time. And there's many languages, lots of babble
There's
going
no
on.
reason to lie for people who are not avoiding truth, who are not afraid of truth. Folks who live in faith have no reason to lie. Lying would take them away from their purpose and process. If your purpose and process is to seek truth and be set free and you're living in faith, fear is for those who want to live a lie, or lies are for those who live in fear, rather. So it not only doesn't serve a being to lie, it takes them completely off their purpose and meaning and walk to do it. Why would they? That's for worldly folks who have no faith, who live in fear. They lie because the truth is too scary to them to accept.
All right. They're driving for their medical treatments. They have to, I feel like they kind of know, right? They kind of, I don't know, they're cognitive dissonance, lying to oneself, or oblivious to facts. It's like, I don't know. I don't even want to go down that road of like the health.
Yeah, you're not lying to yourself, most people. You're just not aware, and or most likely you're not honoring yourself. Same thing I talk about with monogamy and the rest of it. You ain't lying to yourself. You're not honoring yourself. You know what's in you. You won't observe it, and you won't communicate it. So that woman across from you knows what's in you too. She's going to observe it and communicate about it. Why would you dishonor yourself by allowing her to be the first one to bring up what the fuck's in you? That's how you become honorable. I know what's in me, and so do you. We're going to talk about it and try to understand it. I'm going to lie to you by not honoring myself or observing what's within me that God put there. That's a fool in his folly. So if we can get past that and understand that, we can get past anything. They won't do that work up front. They want to wait till 5 or 10 years in when someone lies or cheats or gets caught in a DM.
Yeah, that's interesting that women are like that, even if they don't consciously are aware of it. Like, they will fucking hone in.
You don't think it's in them too? On some level? You don't think it's in them?
Oh, for
You
sure.
saw
Yeah,
it with Annie. How many experiences do you need before you realize that we're really not that much different on certain levels? There may be levels where we're kind of ordered or geared or defaulted differently, but it's oneself, man. You know, pretty much the chemicals are what change that experience. Or the beliefs about selves can change that. But again, you act like there's not women day to day on these panels and all over who got a boyfriend who they're here watching me all day, every day, and won't observe in themselves that I love them and they love me more than their own fucking bozo next to them. Objectively, based in truth, based in understanding, based on application, based on a level of service. So they just won't honor themselves and that man indirectly and God and the truth by going, I love Paulie Boy. And he loves me more than we love each other. That's obvious. Because you don't live in truth. You're an inauthentic corporate male. You go enslave every day and you lie to yourself and me every day. And you got no fucking value to offer me as a woman or a child who we're going to bring in. But they won't do it. So are they lying to themselves? No, they just won't observe it. They won't recognize it. They won't make it a reality. It's too scary for them. They'd rather go along to get along with everything that they believe they know. Or what they think works.
Get in here,
and the
Julian.
only reason that we love each other more than their bozo is because I love the truth in myself more than either of them. So you get that, you don't even need me. It's not about me being the source or the head of the love and the interaction. It's about the reason it's that is because of the way I live and what I prioritize. Myself and the truth. That's why these goofy bitches down there, a lot of them love me more than their bozo and know I love them more even if I never met them. For shelf. Hello? Right.
Yeah, I was thinking these monogamy boys could open up a donut shop and it would only have one flavor. And the slogan would be like, one flavor for the rest of your life.
That was like Baskin Robbins. You know, Snafu Snap says Jennifer was young when Baskin Robbins only had one flavor. It's an ageist joke. Right? But yeah, that's how it started out. You know, and we can't figure out how, just like a man wants multiple flavors of ice cream, he may enjoy multiple flavors of women.
I'm surprised they didn't call it 33 flavors.
Again, these low-level slaves think there's some virtue in commitment to a person, place, or thing. There's not. There's virtue in commitment to an idea, what I'm speaking about almost constantly. So go ahead and commit yourself like you're in a mental institution to people, places, and things and see where it gets you. You'll become someone's slave. So would you rather serve an idea or serve people, places, and things? See, I contend if you commit to an idea, you automatically understand commitment to people, places, and things, the right people, places, and things. You'll be in it forever with them. Everything else has got to go. Again, cart before the horse. So don't come to me and tell me you understand commitment. You understand institutionalization. You understand entrapment. You understand bondage, vice, and codependency. It's all you've been living from day one. That's because you serve the devil, right? A God of the living says, love yourself and love all beings as self. Guess what? Sexuality is part of that experience. It's how we communicate that on some level. Sometimes, if it's not purely lust. right? So with that said, again, we just see from completely opposite perspectives, and I contend that's because one of us is on the right side of history and one of us is becoming history. There is no viable community where a man pairs up with a woman and gives birth. Doesn't happen. Only in the modern day world with medical systems and the rest of it and belief systems does this happen. From the beginning of time, we act from a natural place that brings us into a group dynamic.
Right. Like there's something about the dolphins not knowing who the father is. Well, it's one thing that helps protect them, because otherwise that's why the dolphin women are promiscuous, because if they just had one husband, the other dolphins would kill those kids to bring her back to a mating mode. You know what I mean? But
Right,
instead,
that's
she's
called
promiscuous.
community. Communing
Right.
with a higher sense of self. If you serve another person, you're indirectly serving yourself and your own ego. If you serve a concept, then you're serving truth, which makes all connections between selves equal through understanding, through acceptance. So again, they tell me all about commitment, and I think that they're kidding themselves. They're serving their own ego and the other person's ego. We're going to commit to each other and only each other forever to make each other feel special and loved. Great. And you're going to neglect your own walk and purpose while doing that, and the purpose for being here. There's your problem. If you serve the purpose, you'd immediately connect and bond and probably be together forever, either directly or indirectly, because you're united in purpose, a metaphysical concept. These are the same people who tell me about commitment who 5 and 10 years in are fighting like animals and trying to take each other's shit. I'm not interested in your nonsense anymore.
Yeah, we had those truthers on here. They're trying to exemplify a couple, that redheaded weirdo. They're holding hands and she's staring all crazily and with eyes like a fucking psycho. Like, how them?
Yeah, these men have so little self-respect. They don't even want a competent, capable, intelligent woman next to them. You know, good enough if they can get somebody partially physically attractive. They're so low self-worth and esteem. They don't even care if their woman has values and principles. They don't even care if she has discernment. Hello, Jesse Hal, right, and the rest of you, because there's no difference between you. Long as everybody says, look how hot she is, look how young she is, that's all that feeds your ego, and you're going to commit to that. Watch where it gets you. If you both committed to truth and principles and inherent value systems and living a certain way, you'd be bonded already. And it may be with people who maybe aren't the prettiest and youngest and hottest, but they got discernment, they're capable, they're competent, they live toward a goal, and you'll probably be united forever in principles. Do you want one or the other, you egocentric, worldly, shallow motherfuckers, while you project the same thing onto me? Well, I'm not living that way. So will I go down there and say, oh, I'm a ready creature's hot, whatever, I want to put a baby in there and do the physical lusting thing? Yeah. Do I know beyond that we're united in purpose and meaning and understanding, which is true love? Yes. So the other stuff is just extras. That's the worldly experience. You got to be united in the other world first before you can have a co-creation in the physical world. This is what these clowns refuse to accept and understand.
Yeah. I wanted to pick your brain on something from the Wr-alda that, it's not a matriarchal society, but
I'm calling it now. Hold on, let me jump out the window. I want to give some controversy. It's low viewers anyway, probably, compared to everywhere else. No one's going to hear it. That woman, Angelina, is going to eat that kid, Jesse Hal, alive by the end of this. Bet on it. Okay? I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to hate, but that's just the impression I get. She sirened you out, and she's going to eat you up by the end of this because she sees you ain't a real man. And she's going to be looking for a gorilla creature by the end of it. Okay? That's just what I suppose. I've seen the move enough. Seen the move with these guys enough. They get all wide-eyed and starry-eyed when they find the best piece of pussy they've ever had physically, and that siren creature eats them alive by the end of it. And they go looking for a real man, a real gorilla who they can get excited by, right? Who they can have an interesting, exciting, entertaining experience with, not your clown ass. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm hating, and you could just brush this off and move forward. Hopefully they don't even hear it. I'm just putting it on record for 3-5 years down the line. just like I did with Annie and the rest of them. Done it over and over again. Oh, you're Jeffrey and my family. Oh, you're just ego. You want to destroy my relationship. I go, bro, your relationship was destroyed the moment you two met because you're both destroyed as individuals. I can't destroy your relationship. All I could do is reveal what's already there. And I did that, and we saw what happened. Enter one Brian O'Shea. All right. So it didn't matter if Brian O'Shea was poor and broke and all the rest of it. He was keeping it real on some level. He was following a process and a procedure. He respected me and how I live and deferred to me. So he got automatic respect and deference from that woman, while the clown tried to fight me and hate on me and use me. Even your goofy bitch knows indirectly who's who and what's what, even if it's just intuitively. She knows you're garbage and trash. She knows she's using you and you're using her. And when someone else comes into a reality who's a little bit more real and authentic and on a little bit more of a movement and a process, she's jumping ship, if not forever, for the night. Now you got to live with that. And you'll still play ego games with yourself and each other instead of accepting what was obvious to me day one. That I called out, that happened line for line, and nobody saw it happening and coming while I was literally calling it out. That's discernment versus egocentric vision that you believe you know who and what you are and what's happening, while I literally call the move before, during, and after. And you fight me the whole way.
Yeah, and you tried to avoid, you saw from the get-go, but you always, because months went by and you just like didn't fucking, if you like had evil intentions, you could have started shit right from the get-go, but you saw things and didn't even say stuff for months and months until I kind of forced the issue by fucking meeting up with them and kind of getting it all.
I told you, bro, it's not an egoic position. I knew when I looked into their eyes what I could do and not do. How long that takes or what it takes in between, I know the move. Like this is what I mean when I kind of do the bit non bit of keep it player, is once you're in the game, you know how the rules go and you know how to play. So I looked at her and I said, I could see this move. And you could all pretend like I'm fat and ugly and loudmouth and whatever else. If I come around there, I'm taking your bitch. And I don't even want her. So he's telling me I'm trying to get her. Bro, she messaged me, right? At a certain point. It's not about ego and getting people. What am I going to do with her? Right? Like, you think I'm like, he's projecting something onto me that I could actually have that I don't want, that he can't get, which is the respect and validation from a woman walking in truth. There's a reason your bitch was stuck to me like glue, just listening to me and watching me. It's energy first and foremost. So while like she feels burdened by you and anxious by you, she's put at peace and empowerment with me. And she's given understanding of self and the world. How is she not going to jump ship for that? I would. She doesn't owe you anything. You're not married. You don't have children. The best man win. That's how this works. You all act like women don't know the best man when he's in the room. They do. They're not going to tell you, but they do. They're going to go off with each other and go, look at that motherfucker. Look at him moving. I bet he's got a big dick. I bet he eats pussy. I bet he, They're going to go off and do that with each other and not tell their men that they know the best man's in the room. And if you don't got discernment as a man, or you got too much pride and ego, you ain't going to accept it and become better. So you're going to lose in this game long term. That's the difference between me and a hater. When a best man was in the room, I was watching and listening. I was observing. I wasn't trying to fight him or overtake him. I was watching and listening and waiting for my time, essentially.
Yeah, the fighting and the hate and the hating, it's like a symptom of the desperation that those people feel in that moment. I only know that because I've been there. Like when I was even younger, it's just like you fight and hate when you feel so desperate to try to cling onto anything that you grasp as power or like you said, the respect and love from a woman, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then you start to fight and get angry, and it just displays like, damn, you really are this pathetic. If you don't learn from that and you just continue doing that, oh my God, you're going to have a lot of problems on your plate, because it's like a problem that gets worse and worse over time the longer you just fucking try to throw everything under a rug. So I don't know. My heart goes out to them. Hopefully they can, improve on that aspect. I think it'll bring a lot of peace to them. I don't know. I don't really know all these people or all their stories, but I know that symptom. I've definitely experienced that before.
Brian O'Shea.
Moment of silence.
Yeah, my bad. I was gonna put some shit in chat, and then I was trying to refocus.
I got to prepare, Brian O'Shea. I'm on here supporting you and giving you content and energy and attention because I love you. Okay, I know I'm a fucking abusive daddy. I learned that from my father, of course. I'd rather be giving you time, energy, attention, having real conversation with you, giving the audience something and supporting you than the rest of these clowns. Right? If OTW was on, I'd be over there with him, maybe. But the rest of them, I don't go over there now. It's been a great last few days. Oh, it's been amazing. I just keep winning. I just keep focusing on me and my process. When I'm not here, I don't watch them. I don't listen to them. I go off in the world, do whatever I'm going to do. I've been preparing and planning with my buddy to build this house and work on the land. Why would I focus my time, energy, attention that's so valuable at this point with so many opportunities on such low level consciousness? I must be sick or a fool. So yeah, I'm feeling good the last few days. Feeling centered, peaceful, empowered, inspired, all them things like I talk about all the time. And I got no distractions and I got no impediments and I got no need for them either. I'm not feeling needy and wanting like I can't do enough and I need more help. I let those motherfuckers feel like that.
Oh yeah, man. That piece of land is exciting, man. I feel myself wanting to try harder to get, like you said, you just get that little, it's not going to cost that much. Save up a little bit, get yourself a little piece. And I have it, even if I move around or don't use it, but hopefully I end up,
Right.
Yeah,
if I'm in your position, bro, because I'm telling you what I'm doing now. And if I'm in your position, I'm definitely doing that. I'm working my passion on at some point in the day, comedy, whatever it is. And I'm grinding and hustling, making monopoly money on the side because I got no overhead. Everything I get to keep. And then I start reinvesting that, for the coming times. So if I'm you, I'm pulling a couple thousand, however, whether that's a week or a month, taking care of my food, whatever else, and I'm putting the rest into silver. I'm putting the rest into guns and ammo. I'm putting the rest in the land. Whatever the fuck occurs to you with what you need. If you're not cool in the car, then I'm putting first and foremost whatever I get into a overhead, something over my head. You start with a tent, then you go to the trailer, then at some point you work, you work it. 3 to 5 years, maybe you have a house. Maybe you're cool with the trailer. You don't need that. But sitting around all day, bumming around, talking to these motherfuckers, wasting time and energy and attention, I don't see the purpose, right? So I got 8 hours a day to create value in some way and reinvest that. I got 8 hours a day to be at peace and or work on my passions and hobbies. And then I get 8 hours a day to sleep. And if I want to take 6 to sleep, then I get 2 more to do other stuff. But again, this is about managing time, energy, attention, and resources. Your attention is your greatest resource. What you put your attention on will determine what you're going to get at some point. It just is that way. So yeah, again, I'm doing and living what I'm telling you. Creating value, reinvesting, securing that, making more work for itself while I work on my passion / hobby that also creates different levels of value, internal and external. Working on the land, preparing for what I see coming, and just preparing to live life self-sustainable. What if nothing ever comes? Great. I'm in a great position. I get to broadcast, make a living, be self-sustainable, and reinvest back everything into my life and or travel or however I want to live. How do I lose with that? If it all goes bad, I'm in a better position than everyone else. I'm on the land, I'm self-sustainable, I'm growing, and I got sources of value I can trade that I've accrued that will be worth something when their monopoly money is deemed worthless, because it already is worthless.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you're just motivating me. Fuck. Got it.
Bro, you could. I've told you this before. You have no overhead. You're used to doing without. You could literally dedicate yourself And within a month or a couple months, have an overhead, right? Have a trailer. Another couple months, have a piece of land. Maybe you do one before the other. You buy the land first. You know, you just get it. Whatever. I'm going to stack up and get the land. It'll make money over time anyway, even if it's out in the middle of nowhere. They're not making any more land. You know? So you put the 1,000 down, you get the fucking land. You know, and you try to get it somewhere where it's as decent as you can get it for the lowest price. You know, maybe there's water nearby. There's a community building up within a few miles. You use some discernment. But, you know, you get the best you could get for what you got. Get the land. Another couple months. Get the trailer. Another couple months. Put the fucking sewer system or whatever, you know, put power. Whatever you can afford. Let's say you don't want that or you realize you don't need that because you don't want to be attached to the grid. Okay, another month of working, I get a solar system set up. I learned how to set that up like I did. I didn't know nothing about it. I worked solar for a little bit, but it was menial. Most of my understanding comes from looking at shit and figuring out how it works and doing a cross-reference with what other people have done. So you get more of that confidence. You get more of that experience. You get to learn how to do more things, you know? Now you're on your way out, right? I got my land. I got the trailer. I got solar. You know, now I just need a water setup. Right? And then you work toward that. And then at some point you have everything you need. You're out of the game. They can talk shit, but they got to go to work every day and be a slave. You know, they can't follow their passions. They can't reinvest everything back into themselves and their life and lifestyle to be more and more out as days go on. So yeah, I mean, you have to see a vision and work toward it, whatever that is. Your vision and goal may not be the same as mine. You know, yours may be work and stack and reinvest to secure the value short term, and then trade it over at some point and get a house. You know, live in Malibu, whatever the fuck. I don't know what your vision and dream is, how you see the best version of you, or the most practical, however you evaluate it. You know, because I'm going for practicality at this point. I want to be able to wake up every day, have everything I need or a way to get it, and not be stressing and be under the gun. Right? I want my peace and love available to me so I can go in the world and create from the screen. You know? So you got to ultimately figure out what you want your life day to day to look like. What's your priorities? You know, what gives you the most value and inspiration?
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is going to be like just trying at this thing of life. And then what I envision is being on a piece of land and it's sort of expanding from there. The thing I worry about is it's like I don't so much I feel like I could pull it off, getting on a piece of land, getting some water, getting shit going. But then I worry about pressures from like people around me. Like, what is the politics of the local area?
Again, why are you doing that? Why do you give a fuck? This is what I mean, bro. I'm going to go off on you. Why do you still give a fuck more about what other people think of you than what you think of yourself? Isn't that a problem for you that you need to correct immediately? You care more about other people and their slavery and what they think of you than what you think of you and your freedom you're going to create for yourself. How does that make any sense? And how is that not indicative of low self-worth and esteem? So you change that. Or you say, this is a ridiculous concept. I care more about me in my life than I care about what other people think about me in my life. Because when I look at their life, I don't want it anyway. The same thing I do, right? What do I give a fuck what EBT or the rest of them? He had to get up and go to work drunk today, smelling like liquor. He's wedged under a fucking tractor right now, hating himself and his life. He can pretend like getting 120 G's a year, 80 after taxation, 50 after his bitch and his children take a hold of the rest of it. Bro, you ain't better off than me. You're not. I could do whatever the fuck I want. Every moment of my day, I'm guaranteed value. I live within my means. I have everything I need and then some, and I'm working toward a goal. They don't know where it ends. Folks like this who live like this don't know when it ends. They go, how many more years? Another 10, another 20? When does it end? Never ends for them. By 40, I'm out. I'm already out. I can already get my own land and I have land to stay. Right? I'm already out at 34. By 40, I'm definitely out. I'm debt-free. I'm self-sustainable. I could travel. I could dedicate my time, energy, attention to a family if I want to start one. I could adopt children, put them on I could do whatever the fuck I want. I could start a school. and start to teach there and deal with 50 people a day and make a living doing that and following my purpose? Are you kidding? It's not even close. You all have to continue to serve some vision that's not yours indefinitely, and you don't know when it ends. And by the time it does end, you're going to be too old and broken down and burnt out and tired to even give a fuck. And you're going to be hoping that you get to die without spending up the last of your fucking debt notes or going deep into inflation to where they ain't going to be worth anything. Let's cut the bullshit with ourselves and each other. I'm way better off than most folks on here. They won't admit it because they want to appeal to what the balance book says before all the expenditures beyond the expenditures of their internal space and who and what they are and what they're becoming. I'm becoming more free and empowered. They're becoming more indebted and burnt out and powerless and purposeless. Not even a question of competition. It's conscious and aware, seeking truth and true love, or neglecting yourself and your purpose here to serve people, places, and things, and an idea of a society and family, which ain't that.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between like having to get up to go to work and do something because you're just in a position where if you stop, everything crumbles, and being able to wake up and like being able to go do the work. I've done jobs, the exact same job in two different scenarios. Oh, I've had to wake up early, get to a certain house at a certain time, deal with somebody who's already pissed off, and then I've dealt with the exact same scenario with somebody who's just like, hey, I have this problem. Can you help? And I decided, yeah, I'll take some time out of my day. I'll just see what I can do. It's nothing I haven't done 100 times before. And the energy between the two is just, why is it so hard for some people to understand? You're not going to be able to live a life going at it, having to do this work, not having the choice to be able to take a break whenever the fuck you want or whenever you deserve to, versus like taking the risk and just getting to do the work. I don't know. What a fucking world, man.
Yeah, there's a big difference between the perspective of get to and have to. Have to is the consciousness of a slave. Get to is the consciousness of a co-creator.
I wish everybody could live in that space, man. That would help so many people just, oh my God, all at once. If I get to go do something today as opposed to like, fuck, here I go having to. I'm still in that position. I pay fucking rent. I'm like in a 9 to 5 fucking job, but I'm also doing things because I get to on the side. I'm also meeting people because I get to explore different opportunities. And those have been fucking like just magical, to say the least. I've met so many cool people. I've already gone to really cool places just to do the exact same work that I've been doing for my slave job.
The point is, if you ain't a bum and you ain't a drug addict, why wouldn't you want to be homeless once in your life? Why wouldn't you choose that? Like if I'm in your position, the way you look, how you present, the fact that you have no vices, I go, fuck the apartment. I'm going to create an experience for myself. I'm going to go live in a storage unit for a month. I'm going to pay $30. I'm going to sleep on the floor, and I'm going to really push the boundaries in the comfort zone here. And I'm going to shower at the local shower spot or at the gym, right? You go, you work out a little bit, you shower, you get yourself together. It becomes a different energy. It's strange to explain it, but it becomes a different energy where you're in the world in a different way now. You're almost part of it without sacrificing your principles and value system. And then what you find is, oh, wow, on the other end, now that I've done with all this shit, I realize how little I need. And I'm totally cool with the storage unit and showering here and working out. And I got a whole routine for myself. And then at the end of the month, I got an extra $2,000. If I could do this for another 6 months or 12 months, I'm up 24. Now I'm out, right? Because I can go get myself the piece of land, the trailer, whatever else, and now I'm working towards something. Again, most of these people you find at a job paying for an apartment, they never get out of the loop because they never do a time of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice in this world to leverage and to gain at some point. You can't expect to just upkeep the life and lifestyle the way it's always been, not sacrifice and go to the next level. I don't see how, unless you're going to find an in somewhere or up your game or up the profit margin, right? Which is always a possibility too, if you're money motivated, which for someone like me, I wouldn't. I had 10 different ways I can go make more money. That wasn't my prime motivation. My love, my freedom is my prime motivation, my creative control. Right? I want to be a co-creator or creative person. Right? So for me, the storage unit for $30 a month or the tent or wherever else is preferable because again, I get to reinvest all back of what I make into what I'm going to create and build. I don't want to invest that back into just keeping a place for me to live, to go back to work, to pay to live. That's a loop you can't get out of unless you make more money every month. And if you're not working on that, you ain't getting out. Thank you, Jennifer.
She's handing you fruit
very
juice.
Much, true.
She's got to keep me alive to
true.
ramble out here. I need organic fruit juices. Only the best. The king of unslavia.
Hell yeah.
So, Brian, you were talking about a good experience you had on stage. I guess you already kind of talked about it a little bit. Have you considered just going to workplaces, doing the kind of grunt work, maybe wait staff or bartending or something like that, and then just offering your comedic services for free? Just being like, hey, I'll fill any gaps you haven't filled. You don't even have to fucking pay me, but watch me blow away all these other people like you just did, yesterday. But you're just doing it for free because that's what you enjoy doing. Man, if you step into that space, you're gonna light that fucking place on fire. And watch out wherever you're at.
Yeah, they got a club in town. I need to look into the Jimmy Kimmel Club. Yeah, I need to go checking out these clubs and start trying to just trying more. Like it's another thing. Like have a vision, have a fucking goal. Because like if I try, like you figure shit out. Like what do I want, and then just go get it. Basically, like you know what I mean. Like yeah, but that's a good thing. Like for example, I could go to the Jimmy Kimmel thing and maybe become a wait staff, and then just maybe get some stage time like that, and just take it from there. Like that's a good idea.
That car is supposed to be your cocoon. You go in as a caterpillar, you come out as a butterfly. Completely free to go in any direction, not bound by the same laws as the rest of the creatures, right? Crawling and climbing here to there. So I go into that place, I cocoon, and I start getting hungry and inspired, and I come out different. The same way I do with jail. It's got to be that way, if you want to level up in a sense. So again, your masters will tell you that there's a season of sacrifice. Where's yours? You want to choose to sacrifice to get where you need to go, or you want to become the sacrifice? Because they got that for you too. So you're going to have to make a choice. Either choose to sacrifice and really work towards something and reap the benefits of that process, or neglect it and become the sacrifice at some point. Again, one is the consciousness of a slave. One is the consciousness of a co-creator. Co-creator loves the idea of sacrifice because he knows that his eventuality is built in those times and those moments. When I'm in the tent, I'm not worried and whatever. I'm inspired. I go, I'm being built right now. I'm being formed and made in these moments. I'm being tempered like steel. I'm not whining and crying and bitching like the rest of these pathetic slaves. And that's why after a year, I come on here the way I do. Because I was cocooning while they were crying and whining in their fucking apartment.
Yeah, absolutely. I got this job I got to be at in an hour. I get to help.
Yeah, you don't have to be there. You're choosing to be there because you're working on yourself and your future in life. And you're serving something. It's not about the money. The money's the side effect for you serving something. You serve something and you get spiritual currency and physical currency. Boy, do you win. You get paid twice.
Yeah.
Go pick something where you get paid twice. Most people work to get paid once. I work and get paid twice. Aren't I lucky? I get spiritual value, metaphysical currency, and physical currency. So I'm still winning and ahead of the game. These slaves work every day for a piece of paper and get no fulfillment and value beyond that. Foolishness.
Absolutely. These people, I take it for granted that these people welcome me into their home, dude. Like that's a kind of a cool thing, especially for someone like me. I get to step out of the car, to be in someone's home. We interact. I helped. I serve them with. They need a couch. It's probably gonna be the easiest thing ever. I'm guessing. Some of these couches, you literally just take it out of the box and kind of put a couple pieces together. But you know what I mean? I'm gonna show up. You know, sometimes you don't know the reason. Like sometimes you show up and it's too easy, and it's like maybe God or. And then sometimes I put too much emphasis on it. Oh, God's putting us here for a reason. I got to make it into this big fucking. I got to give him the speech. I got to save this person. Save yourself, motherfucker. Nah, but it's cool.
Experience recently. If I could share, I just had this experience recently. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but it just blew me away because just my presence is what they paid me for. Right, this gentleman had an entire garage. There was like 6 outlets in his garage. It just didn't have power, and he could not figure out for the life of him what the hell was going on. So I was like, okay, I'll come over and check it out. As I'm testing for power, I'm not getting anything. He walks around to a breaker box outside of his house and just flips a breaker that had tripped. And what do you know? All of his outlets worked again. But he still paid me to spend 27 seconds in there. And he's like, hey, I have a water heater issue. Are you able to help me with that? Yeah, I've changed water heaters before. I can absolutely help out, you know? It just, I got to go do that. And I don't know, man, I made a friend. So it's way better than any job I've had to go to pay rent, you know?
Bro, people don't even understand the subtleties of the psychology, right? When you're called somewhere and expected to be paid, that's already the purpose. You already got the purpose out of the way before you did anything or had an interaction. When you take that out of the beginning, it leaves you open for all the other shit that humanity and creation has to offer. By the end of it, you're going to get paid anyway. So why would you not put the payment on the back end instead of the front end and leave yourself available all the other shit that goes away when you make the purpose the payment? Does that not make sense? Like you said, you never went to a place to voluntarily work for free and they had the balls to not pay you. They paid you equal or more than when you would have got anyway. But you left yourself open for all the other experiences that are available rather than just the payment that would have been done by the time you got there. Because that's the expectation everybody set. Hey, bro, come here, do this, you get this money. You closed yourself off to everything else. You leave that out of the equation, everything else is available and you're going to get that anyway.
Yeah, like once you set a price limit on your service, you've limited yourself. As long as you go in there with just like whatever, open to the experience, it's limitless. It's literally infinite in the possible.
You're verifying to the universe indirectly through this manifestation thing we talk about. You're verifying every time you get up and go to work that $100 is more valuable than you and what you know. By living from a place of not prioritizing the $100, you verify to the universe and the people that you and what you know are the value. The same thing I do here day to day. I don't set a price, and because I don't set a price, the price is met and then some. Because I'm verifying to the people in the universe the truth, what I understand, and me, I am the value. That's infinitely valuable, right? It's way more than $100. Why would you outprice yourself on the low end?
I don't know. I can't say I haven't done it. I've been a fucking fool in my life. But that's all right. I'm turning that shit around. What a fun experience.
Yeah, that's why in that book, it talks about certain aspects of the community. There was things that were part of the community, part of the, just part of the fucking communal fucking access to. It's like everything now is all fucking go get. I don't know. It just seems so individualized and they compartmentalized. But these are powerful ideas. Kind of digressed and got myself off track a little bit, but
sorry, what book were you talking about? Because you've been referencing it. I've been listening.
Yeah, this book, it's called Wr-alda, Oera Linda, Linda, which means it's translated as like or would be like Or and Linda would be this river that was like named Linda. So over the Linda, like that's these people that lived over this certain river. But no, they were just a people all about freedom. And this book came out, I think, in the 1800s. They found it was passed down from generation to generation, a handwritten book about the history of this people. It's just very interesting that their whole core is freedom. And like it even reflects back to, I think, the Netherlands or the Dutch. Like they have this slogan that better dead than slave. So it still kind of like carries on to this day, sort of the mentality. And so it's just interesting to me, their take on what it takes to maintain that. And one of the things that crumbled it was like they introduced, like they said, these young, handsome, like different people that were clever. They were young, handsome and stuff. And they started mixing with the children of these free people. And that eventually, like, you know, and then with the seasons of just how things work, like right now, it's a good time for the devil's playground, like just the way consciousness is. It's a season for the devil, you know what I mean? But so it's his he gets to play freely, but now there's seasons where it's more difficult for the devil to have run. And so he's not around so much because it's like just the way consciousness works. Consciousness, like they say, is rising. It'll be different. But
bro, watch this, right? It just like occurred to me in a different way. Like what we're just focusing on. Like these people talk about God and manifestation and manifesting what's meant for them. How can you manifest what's meant for you if you don't know what's meant for you, but you put a price on it? You literally closed the door for what's meant for you because you thought you were only worth $100 a day or $100 an hour. This is the point, right? You can't truly say you're faithful and that you're manifesting what's meant for you if you don't even know, but you put a price on it ahead of time. You shut yourself off. So don't put a price on invaluable value, inherent hierarchical power and value systems. Just do that and be that and surrender, and you'll get back whatever's meant for you at some point, if not directly. That's what I found. If I'd have told, right, I used to make $100 a day picking up garbage or doing construction in all weather. If I'd have told the guy who hit me up from DARPA, hey, bro, I'm going to come up today. You're going to pay me $100 an hour instead of $100 a day just for talking. I'd have tricked myself out of the $1,000 he gave me just telling him, I'm just going to give you the game and the value. You do whatever you want. Because guess what? My value system was less than his value system. He works at DARPA. I'm just a construction guy. I would have thought I was coming up by getting $100 an hour. I would have been bringing myself down for what was meant for me based on my value system versus his. And what did my father tell me? Why are you going to just talk to these motherfuckers for free and give it all away? Why wouldn't you charge them more? You can make $50, $100 an hour. Stupid motherfucker. I'm manifesting what's meant for me by God, not what you think is meant for me with your low-level consciousness.
You could see why so many people turn it away, because they're like always searching for comfort. So they do. Oh my God, $100 an hour? That's crazy talk. Do you know how much that is a year? It's like, dude, it's a piece of paper a year. What are you talking about? Like I said, there's a person now. I know a person for the rest of my life that if I ever needed a bowl of rice because I'm on the side of the road picking up garbage, you know, he'll give me a bowl of rice. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll feed me. That's way more than $100 an hour. That's security. That's true. It's true, like, experience. What a fun time.
Yeah, man.
You know how the supposed enemy looks at you different too? When you talk all that high power shit online and you don't live it? When they hit me up privately and go, hey, bro, what do you want for an hour of talking? And I can stay consistent and say, I'm just going to give you whatever I got. You do whatever you want. Guess how, even if it is someone who's a quote unquote enemy from DARPA, guess how they start to look at me and themselves different? That's where the value and the power is. So they go, we wanted to hate Paulie boy. We wanted to be an enemy of him. But guess what? He just gave us an hour of his time for nothing. And he's living in a fucking tent. And we got everything. And we're charging people hand and foot just to fucking be. So they start to respect you and value you different the same way you value, respect yourself and the truth.
At least those people are able to recognize when they start to fall into that hating, fighting mentality. You know, they're like, oh shit, I can't really hate on this person. Damn, like this is what's the word I'm looking for? Commendable. It's something to appreciate, you know, versus somebody who would just start getting all disrespectful, fighting, trying to take shots and everything, get all in your face. I don't know. A lot of different experiences here on the metaverse.
Absolutely. I'm going to check on this job. If you guys could hold it down, for like a minute. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna jump out, O'Shea. I gotta jump out because I gotta prepare. I'm already late. You know.
All right, no problem,
Send
Paul.
the
I appreciate
broadcast
you.
unless you want me to try to do something. I don't know what to do here.
All right,
No,
I'll
it's all
see you
right.
guys in a bit.
All right, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to the great Paul and Slade for being here. I got this job. Let's see, what time does it start? It starts at 12:30. It's 11:40. Then I got to confirm this other job. So yeah, just give it. I'll literally be gone for maybe 30 seconds, a minute. Just I don't know. Just ramble on for a minute, Julian. You got it in you. Just fucking ramble to these people. Just fucking bring about what you're been going on with your day to day with work. I don't know. Whatever the fuck you want to. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. All right.
I wonder what job you're. Hurry, before you go, what job are you going to do? Just putting together a couch? Oh, he's just frozen. Well, a good lesson when you're working in maintenance. Always, always, always make sure you leave your work site in the best condition you possibly can. Because if somebody comes across it at the wrong time, it's going to look like you're a dumbass who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. No matter how many times you've done a good drywall patch, they come across a bad one, they'll be like, oh, this guy sucked at drywall. Can you tell? I had a bad experience with drywall. I only have to do this for like 30, 35 seconds. No, I get to do this for 30, 35 seconds. I was never the type of person who just talked in the mirror. You know, I would like maybe talk while I'm taking a hike or something. Conversation starters. Let's see. Oh no. Always a hit or miss going into these chats. Not whatsoever. I don't know what you mean by that. Send a link. I don't have that ability. I'm not able to do that for you. Oh no, Tarek got his wrench back from Jack. Okay, maybe you can do some work over there for him. How is Snafu snaps down there and not up here? I don't understand that. I enjoyed patching drywall, actually, but I was an idiot and just reused the same piece that I tore out that was all water damaged. That's okay. I had my reasons. I was trying to be cost efficient.
Julian, how'd you do, dude? You all right?
I think I did pretty well. You know, I just was talking about my my experience with doing one bad job and leaving one job site in not a good condition, and how it can wipe away 50 other really good job sites. You know what I'm saying? It'll overshadow all of them. So always stay on your fucking A game. Otherwise, you might regret it.
Oh shit.
I really
gotta
just come up
respond
on these places. Go ahead.
Nah, this lady's hit me up and I just gotta respond to her real quick. Hit him. This is fucking crazy. Hit him up with something real quick. Respond to her. I'll be right back.
It's really hard to tell when you actually leave. Yeah. What do people like to hear? After death. Oh fuck! I just got a notification. That's good. O'Shea, I don't know what to talk to these people about. How do we enlighten them? What do you guys get to do in your day to day? Tell me down in the comments. What do you guys do with your day to day? What are some activities you either enjoy doing or your dumbass has to do? give me a few. Is everybody going to leave here? Because I'm sure like the other broadcasts are starting. I guess that's not something I really want to say on someone's broadcast. Probably going to get rid of everybody all in one fell swoop. Hey, isn't that important broadcast starting sometime soon with that one guy that everybody comes here for?
Hello, Julian.
Oh, what's going on, Brian? I was just talking good about the broadcast.
Yeah, I had to respond to a job. Great. Thank you for holding it down though while I was gone though, dude. It sounded like you were shit talking me while I was gone. How disrespectful of you. I was pulling an OTW though and putting the stream in your hands.
I learned from the best on how to come to a broadcast and just completely blow it up. I've watched the miscreants on here for an entire year. I've learned how to do it really well. Just kidding. But no,
Fuck yeah.
That's cool. This is the first time I've actually even seen, like, been on your broadcast channel. I don't get around here all that much. I try to actually do stuff in my day, even if it's just my slave job. I still find fulfillment in it, though. It gets kind of crazy on here. I couldn't do it all fucking day. This place is fucking wild.
Yeah. And I find myself in my worst moments just fucking, even after like Paul's stream, like not that I pay attention to these other streams, but I'll look at it a little bit, be like, oh, these guys are fucking retarded, and then I'll end up like going through shorts or going through other videos and just having my face like, and I'll be like, oh, it's gonna be educational, but it's like no matter what, my face is like in the phone too much, dude. It's like got to get out, to nature and working and everything. So I got a couple jobs lined up today. Yeah. I mean, that's where they want us. They want us fucking face. How long are we gonna be what?
Yeah, how long are you gonna be streaming or something?
Well, right now I can only go a couple more minutes because I gotta head off to this job. So I'm gonna wrap this thing up. So you're welcome to stick around.
My day too.
Hell yeah, you're gonna be out here? All right, Julian, thank you so much for coming by. I'm gonna wrap this up soon. So take care, brother.
You too. Have a good one.
I'll see you later. All right, you too. That's the glorious Julian. Good vibes off Julian. So who knows? Is he gonna do the fucking get himself a storage unit and fucking rough it out a little bit in there? I've been in my goddamn storage unit of a car for fucking too long roughing it out. You know what I mean? Or upgrade the overhead, you know what I mean? But it's all good. Just try at this thing of life, you know what I mean? Get ourselves in situations, we get discouraged, we think less is okay, you know what I mean? But really it's not. So I gotta get ready for this job. I don't want to disrespect the creator and try to pretend there is an abundance and prosperity out here, and that through some discipline, a little vigilance, and a little effort, man. It's not trying, but just like I just related to when I used to play poker, man. When you actually try to fucking win, like it's not easy. You gotta put energy into this game of life. You know what I mean? That's why you get maximum. You can have rapid spiritual progress because you're at a point in history where, like, the deck's stacked against you. So if you're able to still rise up and hold yourself and move and be free, you gain a lot of spiritual fucking boons. So it's just like a win-win-win. You get to be the hero, the hero's journey. You get to be free. That's the golden chalice, your freedom. People treating you free and you get treated differently because you're free. And it's like, fuck it, man. You guys want to get treated one way, I'm gonna get treated a different way. Because I'm fucking free and my people are free. That's how we get treated. And that becomes a norm. Like, oh, them people, they're known, you don't fuck with them. They're free. You know what I mean? Shit. Oh, but that's Brian O'Shea. Oh, we're behind Brian O'Shea. Yeah, you might want to fuck with him. He's kind of free. Go on to another slave over there. Brian kind of looks like younger, less disheveled. All right. You guys are pretty cool, man. But I got to get ready for this job. I'm going to finish this doobie. I'm going to fuck it. Who the fuck knows? I don't know how long it takes to get to this job. It could be 4 minutes away, but I have to leave the fucking screen and leave the stream to go fucking find out. But whatever, man. Whether it's 30 minutes or 5 minutes, I get to the job and I get to go to this job and help these people with their couch. And then this other one, though, see, I got to talk to you guys about this other one. I got to send this prescription to someone, dude, which is kind of sketch. But I can't see, that's the thing, though. See, I throw out the sketchiness because I fucking took off work for a while, so I want these jobs right now. So I'm like overlooking the sketchiness of it. But I'm like, you got to send me the Venmo money ahead of time. But they want me to get a prescription and mail it to them. So I've done it before on the TaskRabbit app, bro. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Who knows what the fuck I'm mailing out? And get myself in trouble. But nah, it's like I'm allowed to pick the motherfucker up and mail it. It's part of the it's all documented on TaskRabbit, so it's just like, fuck. Anyways, I gotta get ready to go to this job. You guys are pretty cool, man. I should have another opportunity to get on stage tonight somewhere. I gotta look up the little things. Lots of opportunities. I can set my own shows. Mad shit can be happening. Get land, upgrade, put effort. I'm rambling, but you guys get it. It's all been said. I'm just letting it all absorb in. I'm letting it all coalesce, and I'm spitting it out too fast. It's all just very simple. I was getting back to my meditation. It's all what I'm doing throughout the day. And so today seems like it's a good one. And yesterday was a good one because it started with Brahma Muhurta with the meditation at 3:30 in the morning. So you get a long ass day. You could get a lot into a day, it seems like. When you start your day off early like that with a meditation before sunrise. So I'm feeling good, feel rejuvenated, feel inspired, and I'm feeling co-creative. So I appreciate you guys being on this journey with me. And I'll see you guys later. Peace. Yes, end it.